apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuned to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. We got my squad in effect as always. We got my brother. I'm talking about, I've known this man since 1990 in Philly and Lincoln High School and all that good stuff. This is the originator of Live from the Writers Bench, and this whole podcast game doesn't get started without my brother Ev. Always dope to have you back on, bro. What's good?
Peace. Good to be here, brother. Good to be here.
Yo, bro, let me tell you how old we're getting, man. I was watching an old video of us 10 years ago, and I didn't have a beard. You didn't have no gray in your beard. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a beautiful thing to see, man, because I tell my young boys all the time, you either grow old or you die. So I'm always vote for growing old, you know, when you look at it like that. I got my bro Easy in the building from Boston. My arch nemesis, like this is like Batman to the Joker right here when it comes to Sixers and the Boston. I'm still pissed how Danny Ainge fleeced us for Jason Tatum, but that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna get into that. That was our stupidity, and Markelle Fultz just somehow forgot how to shoot a basketball. I swear we need a whole 30 for 30 on this whole process with the Sixers because none of it makes any sense. You know what I mean? We got Jimmy Butler still saying you picked fucking Tobias Harris over me. Markelle Fultz forgot how to shoot. Ben Simmons won't shoot. James Harden is James Harden. And Embiid, now he ain't playing back-to-backs for the rest of his career. I believe we're cursed, man, but that's a whole nother story. And I got my brother Vague out of BK. What's going on, Vague?
Chilling, man. Can't keep pushing the mic out the shot. The shit keep creeping back. What's going on?
It's all good, bro. It's all good, bro. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it, man. So people know probably around I'm 50 now, around 44. I was like, yo, I'm about to turn 45. I can either look my best or my worst. I said I want to look my best. Start exercising, watching what I eat, calorie counting. So I do, once it starts getting cold like this, my fibromyalgia messes with me. So I do more walking stuff in the crib than going to the gym. And I'm doing this walk from home. I'm doing this walking video, YouTube joint at the crib. And it's this move. And I was like, yo, this move kind of reminds me of, Heavy D and the Boys when We Got Our Own Thing video. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of that. And it had me thinking like, damn, man, like there was a point when hip hop was all about dancing. Like, you know, I don't know if you've seen some of these things floating around the net and social media, but it's like, you know, like you look back at the 80s and the 90s and dudes was putting on a show. Like, you know, Hammer's going 100 miles per hour, Scuba Scrap, Heavy D out here, you know, doing the dance steps. Like, everyone was like, you put on a show. And it was like, yo, what happened to dancing? Like, what happened to it? Like, why did it get played out? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about 5 of our favorite dance videos or dancing in videos, hip hop and R&B. For the R&B, I had to put the asterisk. We could only pick one Mike and one Janet because we could just have all top 5 could just be Mike alone. So you just had to pick one Mike, one Janet joint. But, you know, so that's what we're going to be chopping it up about today. I'm going to set us off. The first joint that I got on my list is Lean On Me, Big Daddy Kane with Scuba and Scrap. Love of that video. It's black and white. Scuba's doing the ill moves. Scuba and Scrap is doing the ill moves, just the flips and everything. That was crazy because I don't know. I'm sure y'all knew this, and I'm the only one who didn't because I was like sitting here watching it with T one day, and I was like, yo, I could never get that move. And she was like, my nigga, you do know they're playing that in reverse. And I'm like, I did like the weebay, like, oh, shit. That's why we could never get that move because it's fucking going in reverse or whatever like that. Did y'all know that already? Am I the only one? You didn't know, Vague? Okay, good.
I don't think I knew that either.
All right, cool. Because I was just like, yo, that's why me and Nate could never get get the moves. And to a little background, here's the funny thing, Evan, you won't remember because I don't think we knew each other yet. But me and my man Nate was the Tick and Tack Dancers. It's the wackest name ever. One thing about me, vague. It was the Tick and Tack Dancers. It's the wackest name ever. I don't know what it was. Somehow, some way, God imparted some wisdom on me to pick better names like the Writer's Bench, the Apartment 5B, and We'll Make Beats for Food. The names were better later in life. But like, yo, Ev, you'll remember Rilo, God bless the dead.
Yeah,
Easy and vague. Our rap group was called The Seeds. Does that sound remotely like anybody else from Philly? Like Roots? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and nobody said nothing. It was like, nobody said, yo, Kill, that's a dumbass name. Like, I don't know why y'all kept letting me pick names because my names were horrible. But yeah, me and my man Nate, we were the Tick and Tack Dancers. For my man Marvelous, who was like MC, like Marv Money or whatever, and my man Cool DJ Frank, and we were the Tick and Tack Dancers. And we would practice in my crib every day after school. And so we would always emulate the Scoob and Scrap moves. So definitely Lean On Me was the first one on the hip hop side of things. On the R&B side of things, I'm gonna throw the big joke on the table now. I'm sure other people may have it. I'm going with the Thriller video with Mike. I can't tell you how many times, for people who are young may not know, they had a whole making of Thriller, so you actually got to see Mike rehearsing and, you know, the zombies before they were zombies and everything like that. And to this day, I know every dance move in Thriller. If the beat came on right now, I literally could perform the whole thing because I studied it day in and day out. And I mean, that Thriller video was just like a production. Like, that was the biggest video at that time. It was, I remember like premiering, and it was like premiering like a movie. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was the whole full-fledged video. So those are my picks. Hip hop is Lean On Me, Kane, and then on the R&B side we got Thriller. Easy. What about you? What is a hip hop video that you just remember the dance steps that would just crazy? Here's the first thing. Let me ask you this. Easy, did you ever dance? Because I know right now dancing niggas is too hard to dance. Were you ever a dancer?
My two-step is very, very mean, especially with a drink in my hand. But I never been much. I enjoy like dancing and having fun. Like, I'm not too cool, but I'm not a great dancer.
Okay.
So I actually wanted to add that, you know, a lot of my picks, they're more sentimental value,
right?
And they're more like, I used to see them and I used to do them. They were easy enough for me to do. So that's why I picked a lot of the shit.
Right.
It wasn't like no next level.
Right.
I mean, I did pick some next shit too, but a lot of my hip hop picks particularly was shit that I would see the video and I start doing it because I could manage that. And I'm like, this is fly, you know?
Dope.
So I got to throw in there, and I got to throw in a disclaimer, minus the see-through rain suit, Heavy D, Now That We Found Love.
As soon as you said minus the see-through rain show, I already knew exactly what video.
What that I mean, I was always a very, very big Heavy D fan. I was always very big on Heavy D. I feel like he really embodied what it was, what hip hop is, you know what I mean? Like, you know, fun and, you know, keeping it hip hop, you know? But that video where they just in the street.
Yeah.
And like those dancers, they was easy, but they was fly. And that shit always, you know, and I was, mind you, I'm very young at this time as well. So, you know, when you're young, if it's this good, it's this good. So that's my first joint. You know, my Michael pick, I actually went with, you know, with the iconic Lean, the Smooth Criminal. Which, you know, can't fuck with that. I mean, I never did that move. Don't get it fucked up, but that was the one I went with. That Michael Jackson is like, you know, I mean, I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, like a lot of our hero. You know what I mean? Michael was him, like they say now. He really was him. And Smooth Criminal was really next level. Like you said about the Thriller, the whole movie thing. It was almost, you know, ever since then, it was almost every video after that. It was a movie with him.
Right.
You know, when the choreography was next level, and if it wasn't Michael. So Smooth Criminal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the dopest things about videos at that time, especially a Mike video. It was like, what's the choreography? Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people may not remember, but even with the Cosby Show, every season, they would come back with a new opening. You know what I mean? And I can remember just being hyped, like, oh, it's the new season. Let me see what's the new music going to be, or what's the new, you know, how they would intro, like, the whole cast and everything like that. And I think same thing with Janet. It was like, yo, if you saw a Janet video, you knew that there was gonna be some ill choreography with it too. Like that was, if you didn't, it was almost like you were salty. Like, yo, what happened? Like this is what
dancing was synonymous with both of them heavily.
Exactly.
And you're absolutely right. You was waiting for it, and if you ain't see it, you're like, yo, what happened?
Right. Ed, what about you, bro? Were you a dancer back in the day? Did you have the polka dot shirts with the baggy hammer pants and everything?
I had exactly that outfit. I had the polka dot shirt with the baggy hammer pants with the wingtip shoes. I had the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was there. I was all the way with it, and I'll stand by it to this day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, back in the day too, and my picks, because I was always a big fan of like the shit that Cats was doing that I couldn't really do that well, or whatever I saw, I thought that was dope. So that leads me into my joint, which was EPMD joint, You Got to Chill. Cats in the background, the shit they was doing was ridiculous. I just remember being a kid like, damn.
Yeah.
So that was one of my joints for the hip hop side, because I was.
But hold tight, live there for a second, because that was one of my picks too, and we got to shout out my man Steezo. God bless the dead. Steezo started off as EPMD's backup dancer, so that dude in You Got to Chill, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about, because
I never knew who the other cat was. It was always
I didn't know. I don't know the other cat's name, but Steezo, you know, of course, went on to make It's My Turn, which is one of my favorite hip hop songs ever. R.I.P. to the legendary Paul C, who did that joint too. But Steezo, I just couldn't remember watching that You Got to Chill video, just trying to learning all those moves that he was doing that just look crazy. And for people watching, go Google Steezo, It's My Turn. He's dancing in his own video too. You know what I mean? Also, so definitely.
That though, it actually, when you were speaking, reminded me that it wasn't just the dancing; it was also what you had on. So like your outfit would accent your actual movement. So I was, whatever they was wearing, I was like, damn, I gotta get that. What is that? What suit is that? I need to find out what that is. So that always realized that played a part too, in what was happening on, as I was watching. So that was one of my top joints, was the EPMD. On the R&B, I'm gonna throw my Janet joint out there. I'm gonna say this: I don't have a lot of R&B joints for some reason. I couldn't, like most of my R&B dancers, they just was grinding and shit. They wasn't really dancing. But the Janet joint, all right.
Yeah.
That was my shit with the Cab Calloway.
Yeah.
That video and all the dance was happening. That was one of my. I mean, everybody loves Rhythm Nation. Rhythm Nation was dope, but my joint was all right.
Yeah. Nah. Again, man, like that was just Janet Steves. Like it was like what dance move is she gonna come with, this time around? And that was real dope. Vay, what about you, Brooklyn? Are you out there, with the funky dope maneuvers? What you doing in Brooklyn, man?
Absolutely, man. I even got a picture on my Instagram.
Okay.
Party, you know what I'm saying? They say dollar dance, like, oh, that's my dollar. No hesitation whatsoever in my family. And even during my Morgan days, that shit was like a challenge. Going to the party and dance with the shorties in the reggae room and regular stuff. Yeah, man. Like I probably recently stopped dancing. I realized, like, can you even dance anymore, nigga? Because I think I'm like easy money now. I'm like, but the two step's still here, so I'll do that. But
safe, man. It's very safe.
Right. But I did have Lean on Me, because I remember as the dude who liked to dance. Anytime I got a chance to look at Scoop and Scrap, I was open off of that. And one thing before I go to my pick, just to add, that's dope, and I kept running into, like, looking up the stuff and everything we've already said. The performer could dance with the dancers.
Yeah,
like, that was the difference. Like Kane, Michael, Heavy D, like, you know what I'm saying? They would dance with the dancers. Janet Jackson. Which is dope. I got a whole bunch of old shit, so I'm just gonna start with something new. Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Yo,
okay.
When them horns hit and Shorty stood up out the chair and started the crip walk, I was like, oh, this is what kind of video this is gonna be.
Right.
The breakdowns in the third verse, which is like a dance battle in a lot of ways. Shorty in the chicken spot getting busy in the background. Shorty on the wire or whatever, Crip walking on the wire, like that shit was all dance culture. And obviously a lot of West Coast, but there was a lot of dancing in that as well, which made it a very dope video. On the R&B side, yeah, no, I got to talk about Michael Jackson. So, and there's many of them.
I'm intrigued as which one you're gonna go with, because there's so many and there's no wrong answers.
I ain't gonna front. When I didn't see JR, I was like, I was like, that nigga will pick something that I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna go with Remember the Time. You know what I'm saying?
Very dope.
When I saw that, because I've always been a big Michael Jackson fan, obviously love Thriller and all of that, but when I saw Remember the Time, it was like seeing Michael Jackson do our dances, right? Because it was the more updated dances that you see like in TLC videos and stuff like that. But Michael was getting busy, and Big Les was in the video. You know, they had moments where different dancers got to shine, and they, you know, incorporated the Egyptian style, like hieroglyphic shits that you would see into the dance. It was just so dope. It looked dope. The movement was dope. Michael looked like he wasn't his age, doing all them damn dances, dropping to his knees, back up. I was like, God damn. Nigga, hair was flowing. I was just like this. I wanted to be in the video.
Right. And then on top of that, the video was again a production. You got Eddie Murphy. You got I forgot who was the model. Who was Amon? I think
Magic Johnson was in the video.
Magic was in. Like, yeah, you know, like that was the other thing. Like, I remember that being an event. I was at Morgan at that time. Like, and that's what I loved about Mike, that even though now we're old and we're now in this 40 and the blunt era and nobody dances, it's still like, oh shit, you still get excited to see that. You know what I mean?
And directed by John Singleton. So
R.I.P. John Singleton.
All around,
yeah. I'm gonna go back because I wanted to do this like little breakdown of like for people watching, because a lot of the younger cats that follow me when we talk, you know, they're like dancing like, and it's so weird because like, you know how we have this generation of kids who have grown up with nothing but social media, like they don't know a world without an iPhone. You have so many kids and even young boys who like grew up without seeing dancing, because for the most part in hip hop, after I Have It at 92, you rarely saw dancing anymore. So I'm gonna just start with, for people watching, of course, breakdancing goes all the way back to the mid to late 70s of, you know, breaking and everything like that. Now, the first time to what I'm aware of is the first time we saw breaking in a movie was in Flashdance, which was in 83. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Freeze is in that joint, and then Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew is in there. And it's crazy because I didn't know this for a long time. I probably found this out like recently, a couple years ago, that Crazy Legs, when, for people who have never watched the movie, is Shorty has to give a dance audition. And during the movie, she's walking and she sees Mr. Freeze in the alley kind of doing this umbrella routine, which is crazy because you got Jimmy Castor's bunch, It's Just Begun on, which is crazy for people watching. That's a huge breakdancing song that we used to break to. And he's doing this routine. So she saw that and wanted to put in her audition. So she does this crazy flip, which ain't her. And then she goes to a backspin. And I never knew that was actually Crazy Legs doing the backspin. Like, he's the body double for her doing the backspin in this audition, which is crazy to me. So that's like the first time that they kind of saw Breakin' was like on the big screen. And I was watching this video with Mr. Freeze, and he was talking about how like even when they did the movie, like when they were just like dancing, everybody was so amazed because no one had seen Breakin' at that time. So the moonwalk, this is the moonwalk before Mike did it on Motown 25. So they're like, and he was just saying how like in all people were like, yo, what is this? And then of course that was 83, and 84 we get Breakin'. Breakin' actually came out first. That dropped May 4th, 84. Beat Street dropped June 8th, 84. So of course now I feel like Breakin' is at the highest it's ever been. We kind of saw it in Flashdance. Now we're getting these two movies, a West Coast and an East Coast version of it. Of course, we got Breakin' 2 the same year with December 19th in 84. But here's the crazy thing that I'm always telling people about hip hop and how fast something can change. Because you fast forward 1 year to 1985, you got Crush Groove. There's no breakdance. There's one scene in the beginning when they're at the car wash and the dude is spinning on his head on top of the car. But that's it. Like, out of that 5-second head spin, there's no breakdance. And so it's amazing to me how in 1 year we went from two movies that are solely dedicated to damn near breakdancing to a year later in a hip hop movie, and there's absolutely no breakdance. So now breakdancing is basically gone. It's whack now. Not whack, but nobody's doing it. Now, the first time I remember seeing dancing in a hip hop video is Uptown is Kicking It. Andre Harrell had a compilation album that came out in '86, and it was kind of like shouting out all the acts that was on Uptown. So Finesse and Quiz, Heavy D and the Boys. I don't know how this even worked, but Molly was part of Uptown Records for a minute because he was on it. My man, what is that dude? It's not like not Chill Rob G. The boy who was in they were in House Party. Do y'all remember a dude got in an accident? He's in a wheelchair now. Groove Be Chill. Groove Be Chill. Groove Be Chill is in there and everything like that. But then the first time I remember somebody really actually being a dancer in the group was Heavy D and the Boys with the Overweight Lovers in the house video. Like, that's the first time, like, not somebody dancing in the background or whatever, but no, like, yo, this is part of the group. I have dancers in my group. And I think we give Heaven, we all know here at Apartment 5B, we show love to Hev all the time. But I think that's something I've never really shouted him out for. I think Hev was like the first boy to have dancers in his crew and being part of it, because Overweight Lover is 86. You know what I mean? And then we just go on from that. And some of the videos we're going to talk about are in that part. But then the last time that I really remember dancing being highlighted in the video is Zhigge, Toss It Up, and raking in the dough in '92. Like, those are the last people that I remember really dancing. Because then once we're in '93, I call it the 40 and a blunt era. Redman is not dancing. Okay, EPMD has nobody dancing in the videos no more. Black Moon is not dancing. And Quiet as Kept, a lot of people don't know this, Buckshot and 5 Foot were dancers. That's where they originated from. They originated as dancers. But there ain't no dancing in no Black Moon videos. There's no dancing in Smith & Wesson. And, you know, Wu-Tang, God, there ain't no dancing in that. So I just think, and we're going to get into why that changed, but I just kind of, for people watching, I just wanted to kind of do that history of dancing and hip-hop, and that it's like, it was part of the culture. It definitely was there, but just to show you how in 1 year from 84 to 85, it's like, okay, we ain't breaking no more. And I always wonder why, how do y'all think that got around? Like, how does something get played out that in 1 year, you just know, like whoever did Crush Groove just knew, we ain't doing that breakdancing shit no more. So like, what do y'all think? Like, how did that memo, I'm always like, who got the memo? Like, I'm like, how did Beards come into style? How did this go into style and that go out of style? Like, how do y'all think in just 1 fucking year, we went from movies that are dedicated 100% to breaking to nothing?
You mean only in regards to breaking or dancing in general?
Just kind of like breaking, because at that time, that's all we knew. Like in '84, that was the only dancing. You know, it's part of the 4 cultures. It's like breaking. Like, you know, you break dance, or you dance to some extent. But how does it just stop in a year?
I mean, I thought KRS-One, Step Into a World, had a lot of breaking in it. That was what, 95?
That is true. That's a good point. Great point.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I do agree, just because, like, you know, like, when you see something so heavy and then it kind of fades, it's hard to remember 1 or 2 joints, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like the underground, man. The underground is always going to have that. You're always going to find, it's always going to balance out the bullshit. So you kind of just got to dig, man. There's people out there that shed light on it.
Oh, no, but hold tight, Easy. Before we get to why, like, it got played out, but just in the breakdown, just from 84 to 85, like, how do you think, like, I'm just always amazed, because it's like, yo, like, I would have done a breaking movie. Like, hell, breakdancing is the shit. Like, but whoever did Crush Groove either understood it or just kind of realized, okay, that nigga's not doing that shit no more. You know,
I would ask the question: what was the music that was coming out between '86 to '89? I don't know if that was more of the political push during that time when you know it was more, you know,
political really is '88. That's like I would say like '88. It takes a nation by any means and everything like that.
So I think that was my first question: is like, did the music itself change? And also, I always think hip hop revolves, and there's always cycles. You know, you have cycles of when the production is more of the thing that's in the front. You have periods of time when the MC is more in the front. You also have periods of time when there's dancing up. You know, it takes the front, the center stage. So I wonder if that was, you know, hip hop doing this first kind of revolution kind of thing, just starting that revolution of going from dancing to not dancing to, I guess, whatever it was at that point in time before it came back around? Because I'm curious also, when did the dancing come back? Because I actually remember I don't know if we did a show on it, we were talking about it, but I remember it was a time we were talking about dancing coming back into the actual music itself, but I can't remember when that era was, or when that actual year was.
Right. What you think, man?
I don't know, because like with Crush Groove, well, I'll say this, I think the rappers started to become bigger stars, and the focus started to go on the DJs, because not the DJs, the rappers, because rappers becoming bigger stars also made DJs fall into the background as well. But I think the DJ was still, who was usually the producer, was still crucial. So the DJ didn't really dip out until much later, whereas the dancers were, after a while, if you ain't have no ill dancers,
right?
There's people back there just doing routines, and it's less people to pay when you're doing the show, especially if they're not one of the main attractions or whatever. But I know, like on the streets, it is interesting, because I remember going from breakdancing and popping was the thing to not even doing that anymore, and it just. Like, I'm a kid, so I'm thinking like, oh, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. And nobody's thinking about the why. But I think it was that. I think Crush Groove shine such a bigger light on the personalities of the rappers, that the elements in itself started to fall in the background, except for MCing. So that could be it.
Right. Also, if I can add on that, I'm curious do y'all remember a point in time when there was a push? I think it was a push to most of like our parents, telling us that don't let your kids do breakdance because somebody broke their neck. Y'all remember that back in the day?
I do remember. It was supposedly one of the rumors was Alfonso Ribeiro broke his neck doing a suicide.
Neck. Yeah, exactly. And
it's like right there with the whole, Ralph Lauren said don't wear my clothes, and Tommy Hilfiger, Timberland said, got on Oprah and said they don't want black people wearing their shit. It definitely was that.
That was the result of one of those first kind of pushes to kind of like control hip hop in a sense. It was like, no, don't let your kids do breakdancing because they're going, somebody broke their neck and you're gonna die. You will die if you do. I remember that as a kid, and then the parents being kind of like, oh, because back in the day you pulled a cardboard box out on the concrete and just get busy. So I don't know if that played a part.
I really think our bones was made of adamantium, like Wolverine coming up. Because I swear to God, if there's a kid out here who even brought out a fucking a box on some rubber, fuck concrete, just on some rubber, I feel like they break their whole arm just trying to do a windmill. Where we was like doing suicide, don't know how to do nothing. We just trying to and God bless, I never broke nothing breakdancing, which is crazy when you think about it. What were you gonna say, Beck?
The kid was the dude from The Last Dragon, the little Asian kid. He broke his neck. He died.
Oh, word? Oh, so that was true.
Oh,
I didn't know that shit was true.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I forgot about it, but somehow I think the anniversary popped up, and I kind of went down a rabbit hole, and then I forgot he even died back then, and I remembered it was one of them, because he did it in the movie, a couple like kung fu / breakdance shits, but he broke his neck and died from it.
I didn't even know about that. But I think
shit.
Yeah, I could never do the suicide. And then number one, I probably tried on the bed and the shit wasn't working. So I was like, I'm definitely not doing this on concrete. Like, this is not. And for people watching, the suicide is when you're like standing up and you like just flip yourself over and land on your back. Like, that was on again a cardboard, which is not doing anything to the concrete that's under you. Like, let's not act like this cardboard is like some styrofoam or nothing.
It wasn't there for support. It was there to
help you spin.
Yeah.
That's all it was. The cardboard was just to help you spin faster. It was nothing there like for any type of safety net or anything like that. But I think the music may be a good point too, because the music got more, you got Rockbox now. You got King of Rock, and I don't know if those songs are like feasible to break to or whatever like that. But I also think it's crazy inventive that we went from breakdancing and then we came into these Heavy D and the Boys routines. You know what I mean? Like to say, okay, well, we're not going to breakdance anymore, but we're still going to dance. You know what I'm saying? And then So I think that that's so inventive. So again, for people watching and younger people, like this is what's so important about the 80s. I know the younger generation wants to start hip hop with Illmatic and 94 and everything like that, but just the inventive mindset to even say like, yo, just imagine being, if you were a parent and your kid came home in 1978 spinning on their head, you'd be like, nigga, what are you doing? Like, walking around on the floor like a crab and spinning on your back and doing all these moves. I mean, it looks incredible now, but I'm like, to a parent, you had to be like, yo, this nigga's on drugs. Like, yo, what is wrong with this what is wrong with this kid? Like, because the things that you were doing just don't look normal to somebody who doesn't understand what it is, All right, let me keep going. We're going to go back to some dope videos. The next one on my list I got is Getting Funky by Kid and Play. I remember the whole thing, coming home from high school, straight to the house, Rap City. Like, that was just the daily routine for us. And it was like, I saw the Getting Funky video. I mean, they're like walking down the block. It's a block party. And I mean, the dance moves that Kid and Play are, coming up with, again, just to me, is some of the dopest dance videos. I actually just posted on my IG story today, me teaching the dance moves to Naomi that I still know these dance moves to this day. And the video came on. I was like, hey, get up here and let me show you how to do these moves and everything like that. But I mean, that video was just incredible for me. R&B wise, I'm going with Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah. You know what I mean? I think the dance steps in that joint was just crazy. Aaliyah was right there with Janet. Like, you knew in an Aaliyah video there were going to be a crazy, ill dance routine coming up. And I think just Are You That Somebody mixed in with that beat being something we had never heard before. And just the dance steps, I just felt like, that joint was just, flat out incredible. Easy. What you got up next, bro?
I actually got a Kid and Play joint too. I got Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. You know what I mean? Had me doing the somersault on the floor and shit. You know what I mean? I just
yeah, man.
Another thing too, though, man. A really good song magnifies it. You know what I mean? I've always enjoyed that record. I was very, very young back then too. You know what I mean? Like I said, just enamored with hip hop and whatever I seen, I just try to emulate it. So a lot of these joints, it was really dope, man. Kind of like doing my due diligence for this episode because I had to go back. I'm like, damn, which was his joints? And we talking 80s, 90s and shit. So, yeah, Kid and Play, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. And I actually had an Aaliyah joint too, so I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm gonna throw Rock the Boat out there.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
Very dope joint. Yeah.
That shit was that shit was fly, man. Very they're not going crazy. It's real smooth but it's fly though. I like that shit a lot.
And I think that's the thing, man. And I mean, for people watching, I keep smiling because these videos were just, I felt like it was the package. Like, I felt like that was the thing, that back in those days, not only did you have to rhyme good, you had to perform good, and then you had to have a video to go with it. It was like you had to do these things. And I feel like, to nobody's fault now, but it's kind of like you just drop a song and then that's that. You know what I'm saying? There's really no real performance to it. There's really no, video, real concept to it. It's kind of just like, we're just going to do these things. But I think that's what made hip hop so fun and so dope to me, because it would be like, yo, you hear the song, it's like, damn, I can't wait till they have a video for this. You know what I mean? And being disappointed when they didn't have a video. I was so disappointed they never had a video for Rebel Without a Pause by Public Enemy, because the song was literally everywhere. So to not get a video for that. But it's just like, and we did an episode of Apartment 5B just on like the dopest videos, like Night of Living Bass Heads to me. Like, it's an incredible song, it's an incredible video. And if you ever saw PE perform in their prime, their stage show was just on 100 too. So you just had to knock all three of those things off. Even if you weren't dancing, Chuck was never dancing. The S1Ws weren't dancing. They had their routines, but they still had a thorough ass stage show. LL was never dancing. I don't think LL ever had dancers, but the stage show was just still incredible. You know what I mean? Eb, what you got up next, bro?
My next one is because I love these dudes. I always wanted to be the third member of this dance crew, which was Scoop and Scrap. Of course, going to Kane, but I'm going with Ain't No Half Steppin', which is my first introduction to Scoop and Scrap Lover. They had dope ass names. and these cats was just like phenomenal. I mean, I remember during this time, I was looking for any homie I had to be the other either the scoop or the scrap. It didn't matter. We had to get busy. So that was those two cats. And I have a question. I got a question that we could table to the end. My question for the panel is: who did y'all like better, Scoop and Scrap, or DJ Polo, or the G-Rap dancers? I don't know what they were called though.
They were called the TCF, the Chosen Few Crew.
Yeah.
Easy Scoop and Scrap. Easy Scoop and Scrap. It's not even close to me. Like TCF was dope. TCF and I was trying to find a book before the episode, but it's somewhere in this room and I can't find it. But it's the one about the Latin Quarters. That's written by Paradise Gray from X-Clan, who was like the manager of the Latin Quarters. And a lot of these dance crews started there. Like, you know, like Kane found Scoop and Scrap at the Latin Quarters. Like, for me growing up, I always thought they kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. But it was like, related.
The whole time I thought what Scoop or Scrap was his brother or something like that.
Nah, like these are dudes that would just get busy in the clubs, you know what I mean? And then when it came time to be like, okay, we need to perform and we need some dancers, you would go to Latin Quarters and kind of be like, yo, you know. So I want to say the TCF crew, because the truth be told, the only time I saw this TCF crew was in the G-Rap Road to Riches video. So it's not like we ever got to see like a whole mixture of them getting busy. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard, not hard, but it's not the easiest song to dance on too, like Road to the Riches, you know. So, but yeah, to me, Scoop and Scrap was dope. And for everybody out there with my tick and tack, I just want y'all to remember, Scoop and Scrap this is from fucking Scooby-Doo now, okay? So, you know, you're literally like Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. So the tick and tack dancer sounded crazy, but just keep in mind, these two niggas got names of dogs. So just want to throw that out there. You know, it's like Run DMC now. It sounds cool now, but like running them was like DMC was like, yo, when Russell told us that name, it's like, yo, that shit is horrible. Like, so it sounds great now, but just keep in mind, these two niggas are named after two characters on a fucking car. They're named after two cartoon dogs.
You should have put a lover on the end of it. Tick and Tack Lover. It'd have been
Tick and Tack Lover. Maybe that would have been better. Maybe Tick and Tack Lover would have been better. Yeah. But to this day, everybody's like, you mean Tic Tacs like the Mints? Your dance crew was named after Mints. Gotcha, Kill. Gotcha. And again, blame my man Nate for saying, cool, let's rock with it. Somebody should have been like, nah. Like, we'll come up with something else. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
Let me get my R&B.
I'm sorry, you didn't do your R&B. You didn't do your R&B.
Now, I'm throwing this in there. This is not really an R&B song. I'm only doing it because the dude bit off of Bobby Brown so bad. Father MC. But the video was dope. They was
which one? Treat 'em Like?
I think it's Treat 'em Like. Yeah.
Treat 'em
Whatever
like
one he was on stage. I can't remember which one it was. Whatever one he was on stage. And he was really doing Bobby Brown real hard. But the dancing was dope, so I liked it. And I know it's not R&B, but to me that wasn't really, Father MC wasn't really hip hop. So
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Like, he was like on some MC Brain shit. Like, you know. Yeah, like MC Brain's like DJ Academic. Like, it's like, nah, nigga, you know, you got the MC, but not really. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
Keeping it in the Brooklyn family, I got Big Daddy Kane, but I got It's Hard Being a Kane. That video? You ever seen that video?
I don't think I've ever seen It's Hard Being a Kane.
You go to YouTube directly after this show and watch it. It's really them performing on stage at a show, but it's a video.
Okay.
And every time the hook part comes in, because it's just a beat and
steps. I don't even know that song. What song is that album off of?
That was on.
I'm like, I don't even remember the song called.
It was on the album everybody think is whack, but it got some joints on it. Taste of Chocolate.
Oh, Taste of Chocolate. That's why. Okay.
But the song wasn't whack.
Okay.
And the video, because the video set up where every time Kane gets to the video's real dope because it's a show at the same time, and when the hook part comes, they dance together in the first hook, and then Kane start rapping again, and then Scrap would do a solo joint. Kane start rapping again, then Scoob would do a solo joint, and I watched it a million times just for the dances alone.
Okay.
You know how it go when this is so, like you talked about, Latin Quarters. This is like, I Scrap, you in the middle, and they will get hit. And honestly, I watched that after Taste of Chocolate had been out. I didn't even know it existed. It just came on the box one day, and I was like, it's a Kane video? And the shit was crazy, but Definitely one of my favorites for sure. On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with New Edition. If It Is in Love.
Yeah.
Talk about dudes.
There you go, right there, easy. That's it.
Right? Practicing. But we all wanted to do them.
Come on, baby.
Bro, I to this day know that dance step. We went to the shop. I took T to see them, and everybody in the stand, just like everybody in the stand, like everybody was practicing that shit at home, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Easy to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm in the group.
Video.
And Vay, you know, anybody watch 5B knows my story. I knew when they kicked Bobby out, I knew I was going to be the next member of New Edition. So I knew all their dance steps on purpose. I'd already come up with ideas. I was always like, all right, Mom, I need to get a tutor because I'm joining New Edition. Like in my brain, like it was a plan was already mapped out. Like I already got what I'm going to say to my mom. My dad ain't going to go for the shit, but fuck him. Okay, we just going to have to make this happen. I'm going to run away, but I'm joining New Edition. And the heartbreak I got when I was in Showing Mall, Walden Books, and I was reading either Black Beat or Right On, and it was like, you know, Johnny Gill's the new member. Dog, I was heartbroken. Like, because in my mind, I really was going to be the next member. So it was like, and even when Johnny was in the group, that's why with If It Is in Love, I knew it so much because I was like, I'm going to show these niggas, y'all fucked up choosing this nigga. Like, y'all messed up. So, yeah, babe, that's a great pick, man. Right. And again, that's one of those that everybody knows. To look around the whole Capital One Center and see everybody doing the dance is just like, wow. Like, really, we was really locked in on that video, man.
Yeah, it was iconic. Real quick, to your point about like the videos being complete experiences, it's one of the reasons why I put Not Like Us on my list, because it reminded me of back then. It wasn't just the dancing, it wasn't just the diss record, it was also the Easter eggs, it was also the imagery, it was the colors, it was the expression of Black culture today, West Coast, old school. It reminded me, even though it wasn't the same thing, it gave me a lot of the vibes of like when you watch The Wiz and you see what Quincy Jones are doing with all the different dances and the styles, and you know, it's fashion and it's dance and it's music. So, you know, it was a great representation of Black culture. And
I gotta watch that video. I still ain't seen that video.
Wait, which one?
The Kendrick one.
The Kendrick joint. Yeah, it's just a dope video. Like, I almost forget about the fact it's a diss record because I just think it's a really dope video.
I'll watch it on mute though because I hate that song, but I definitely gotta watch it. Bro.
Yo, the funniest thing about that song, I'm still like stuck on Stupid. We was together in Chicago when all that shit was going on. I actually thought the one that Alchemist did, the Meet the Grams, was like, I was like, oh, this is it. This is the death blow right here.
That's more our wave though. You know what I mean?
Right. And then when that joint came out, I was like, okay, cool. But I had no idea it was going to be the monster that it became. I wonder if Kendrick like could honestly like, yo, word is born to Jesus. Like, nah, nigga, I knew it was gonna be this big. Like to where niggas is doing 5 encores of the song. Like, you know what I mean? Like every HBCU band is like playing it the whole game. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. It's honestly, to me, it's not the best diss song. It's not even my favorite. Like my favorite is
it's not even top 10
in LA. But there's something about the rhythms and the things it taps into for most people outside of it being a diss record is the reason why they like it. It's a lot of catchiness to it. Right. And you know, even with me, I liked it. But when them fucking horns hit, it's like the shit comes out for the first time. You get 2 reactions. You're gonna get easy, like, God damn, not again. And you're gonna get the people who start smiling like it's that Saturday again. So it's a polarizing record too.
Very well executed is what I say. He executed very well. And I really can really appreciate like the staying power that it has, because it's not, that's very rare for a record to burn that long, brother.
Right.
I got, I try to be very objective with everything. I don't like the song, but the shit is a monster. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
He played his hand very well. And considering who we did it against, is even more impressive.
Yeah. Now dude out here looking like the brat. I don't know what's going on with that boy, but neither here nor there. The next joint I got in, I'm going with this thing that kind of set it all off. We got our own thing with Heavy D, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm doing this indoor walking video and we doing this move, and I'm like, yo, this is what Troy and G Wiz was doing in the video. You know what I mean? And again, this is like during that New Jack Swing era. So I know a lot of people don't really rock with the song like that, but like we got our own thing. When that drop was huge, like it was everywhere. You know what I mean? And if people don't remember the video, go watch it again. A lot of crazy dance steps. I love how it was shot. Everything Ed was talking about with the shoes that dudes was rocking at that time and the polka dots, all that stuff is going on in that video. So love that joint to death. I'm gonna go with on the R&B side. I'm going with Every Little Step by Bobby Brown. You know what I mean? That was like I loved Bob. Like I loved Bob because here's the crazy part. I wanted to be part of New Edition, but I'm so not the group type nigga. Like I'm so like all four of us started the group. I'd be the one like, why we gotta dress alike? Like can't we dress different? Like we can all wear hats, but can't we do it different? Like I would be the asshole to be like, yo, come on, man, just get here on time. So I love Bob because he was like the anti-group dude, and it's like, let me go out here and do my own thing. There's so many. Again, you know, Don't Be Cruel. I mean, you got My Prerogative, but like Every Little Step, like those dance steps to me were just crazy. And it was at a time for people who were younger, like Bob was everywhere. Bob would like pop up on TV shows, like, you know, like out of nowhere and just be coming to classroom dancing. Like Bob was everywhere. You know what I mean? So definitely gotta give B Brown some love for that. You know, and even to still see him out here trying to do his dances, man. You know, people be laughing, but I'm like, yo, this man has been through a lot. Like this man lost his wife, his daughter. Like, you know, he's been through a lot. So just for this man to be able to get up on stage and even try to entertain y'all, you know, it's like you gotta salute that man for that, man, because that's a lot right there. Easy, what you got up next, bro?
It's funny because, you know, I actually like started my list with Every Little Step and If It Isn't Love, and then I'm like, you know, Phil's gonna be like, here he go on his boss and shit. So I took them all. Yo,
here's the wild part, bro. I didn't even think.
Funny, I removed them to not be predictable, but I'm glad, you know.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, good music. Like what my man say, black music is black music, and it's all good. Yeah, man. I don't care.
That's classic shit. Can't from man. So I got, you know, again, the simplicity while I was doing it. When I saw Nice and Smooth Hip Hop Junkies, and they was banging and banging in the shit, I'm like, this shit is fly, B. Like, I gotta give Nice and Smooth a shout. They was a very fun yet very hip hop act as well. You know, like that definitely deserves, you know, more flowers. On the R&B side, this isn't so much the choreography. I just thought he was really, really smoking shit throughout the whole video. I got Chris Brown, Beautiful People. I just really enjoy watching that video. I remember I would watch that, and this is more recent era. You know, where I think it was on YouTube, and I would watch that shit like be like, wow, he's really cooking this shit. Because, you know, there was a lot of like, yo, he danced better than Michael, and you know, like nostalgia was kicking up, like, nah, nobody danced better than Michael. And then I watched the video and be like, he danced better than Michael, but that's it, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the ones for me. So I got Chris Brown, Beautiful People. Yeah,
I feel you, man. It's funny with the Pimpin' Ain't Easy, man. That's the first time I heard Nice and Smooth was on this joint, on Pimpin' Ain't Easy. And I remember being like, damn, who are these dudes? Like, I mess with these dudes. And then you hear No Delaying and, you know, what's the joint Dizzy Gillespie plays the sax? That joint, Funky for You. Gotta make it funky for you. You know, and their whole debut album, I just love Nice and Smooth. And like you said, man, I don't think
them more now because of how original they are.
Right.
They don't sound like nobody. You know, there was always them acts that since you pulled the Kane CD out, Kane rhyming was, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10 was a 26, right?
Right.
And then you got these guys where they're not as gifted as Kane. You know, they don't have the rhyming ability that he got. But so original, man. I sound like nobody. Like now, you gotta appreciate it. I've always fucked with Nice and Smooth though, but now you appreciate it even more. Well, I speak for me anyway.
I mean, bro, look at it like this. Gangstar's biggest hit is with Nice and Smooth. You know? I mean? Like DeWick. I mean, like DeWick comes on, people want to lose their minds. You know what I mean? So, and I miss those days of when you didn't have to be a lyrical miracle MC.
And they're more quoted on that record than, you know, Rest in Peace Groove.
Yeah, Google got the lemonade line, but
enough, bro. Like that's the part
right.
when you mention Dwick, you know, Greg Nice. Those are the parts that come up first. I left my Philly out of their part, so it's like, you know, that counts for something for sure.
Yeah, definitely respect to them, because like I said, the second I heard them, I was like, yo, who the hell is Nice and Smooth? Who is these dudes? You know what I mean? And I mean, that was the fun part about hip hop too, like getting put on to new people. Like, yo, who is this? Like, oh, I can't wait for them to come out, and then they drop, and it's like, yo, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, much love to Nice and Smooth. And Greg Nice is still doing his joint with LL. I know he does something with L, like about the sample and everything like that. So definitely dope to see Greg Nice still out here doing it. Ed, what you got up next, bro?
All right, I'm gonna go there with it, because you can't have a dance topic and not talk about this dude. MC Hammer, man, can't touch this. Gotta do it. It was amazing. It was this dude put on some big ass baggy pants and did this slide across the front. That shit still amazes me to this day when I see it.
Gotta do it.
Hammer, man.
And the crazy part is I saw him like rehearsing recently, and it's like, this nigga still be going.
Still got it. He still got it.
I'm like, how are you still doing this, my nigga? Like,
wow.
That's some old. He must have never stopped dancing. Like, no. Because I've stopped and I can't start back up again. You know what I mean? It's like, you know how you be seeing joggers, and I'm like, nigga, why don't y'all just chill on the corner? And he be like, no, they gotta keep moving to keep the adrenaline up. I stopped on the corner, so I've stopped dancing. So obviously, Hammer just never stopped to be able to still be able to do what he has to do. And it's sad, man. It's kind of. I understand why Hammer got this, and I'm not even gonna sit here like I was the biggest Hammer fan, but those videos were events. They were dope. You know what I mean? So, and I think, like, I don't know. I that's the part that kind of bothers me about, because it got to a point where it's like the dancing became corny. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the sad part of it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're gonna talk about that. I got a lot to say about that. We're gonna get there.
I'm wondering if Hammer was a victim of becoming pop. Like, I wonder if he didn't become pop, would people still have the same walk away with the same kind of like, that shit is kind of trash, it's kind of whack, if it wasn't pop music, because it became popular real fast.
I think the hard part is that even going back to the Fat Boys, like we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, where it was like the Fat Boys was trying to go pop, you know, and they fell off because of that. You know, by the time we got the Chubby Checker, the Twist, and the Wipeout with Beach Boys, it was like, yo, this is not my OG always tells me, nigga, that first Fat Boys album, that was a Disco 3 album. There was no crossover, no pop, no disorderlies. That was the Disco 3. You know, even if you look at the back of the album cover, they got the damn disco, they got the Disco 3 jacket. You could I don't know if you could see, like, on the back of Marky D's jacket says the Disco 3 on it. You know, so it's like these were the Disco 3. What we got with Big and Beautiful and all that, and it was like trying to cross over, and then they fell off because of that. And very similar to Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, they fell off because I Think I Could Beat Mike Tyson, Nightmare on My Street. It just became corny. That is just like, you know, that they're trying to do this. So I'm wondering if just at that time we were seeing hip hop becoming pop and getting corny. So by the time Hammer came up, you know, he's not even a good rapper. I don't even know if we call Hammer serviceable as an MC. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, he's kind of making this, you know, turn this mother out, and you're breaking all the rules of hip hop production because you're just looping up Can't Touch This. You know, because everybody in hip hop dissed him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, but why did they diss him? Like, I would love to like ask that question to Search and Pete, like on some real shit, like, why'd y'all diss Hammer? You know, or when Tip said, you know, Hammer proper, you know, rap is not pop. If you call it that, then stop. So I think it does go back to your point of it was becoming pop. And like Tip said, rap is not pop. If you call it that, then stop. And Hammer, Young MC, and it just so happened there was all these West Coast dudes that were doing it. You know?
I think I had a lot to do with it.
Go. My bad.
What would you say? Easy?
I'm just saying I feel like I had a lot to do with it, like where they were from and how much how popular they got, how much they was getting paid.
Right. And I think it's too that the rhymes were very simplistic. Like Young MC, Tone Loc. These weren't lyrical miracle dudes. And not to say, and I don't want anybody watching to be like New York wasn't doing it and East Coast niggas wasn't doing it. You know, Redhead Kingpin ain't last long. Like, let's not sit here and act like Redhead Kingpin had this long career. Like, it was like he had to do the right thing, and that was kind of it. You know what I mean? The K9 Posse, you know. I mean, there were a lot of groups that were trying to make, I don't know, I can't even say K9 Posse was pop. Maybe Twin Hype was. Twin Hype is probably a better example of a group trying to go pop. Like, hey, we're two twins and we rap, and you know. And then that was also during a time when everybody was trying to do, I call it that club hip hop, like that I Got the Power. Like that was a thing for a minute. You know what I mean? So, but I'm sorry, Ed, what were you saying?
No, I was saying to that point as far as going pop. Dang, I lost my point. Keep it moving.
This is what happens when you almost there, brother. You coming up on that 50, man. It happens. It's gonna happen all the time, bro. Start writing things down, man. Veg, what you got up next, bro?
Oh, what's your R&B joint, Ed?
My R&B joint. I was saying earlier. When it came to R&B, man, I had a hard time because a lot of the cats that I listened to didn't really dance, and the ones that did it bad. Like Boys and Men, horrible. I hate it when they dance. Why are you doing it? Just stop. Jodeci didn't dance at all. You know what I mean? And a lot of cats really dance. So I had to really think back. And I mean, right now I'm just piggybacking. I'll say Belle Biv DeVoe because Poison was a dope video. And, you know, there was some movement.
Poison was very dope.
There is another one when Easy was talking about Chris Brown. There's another Chris Brown joint that I remember. I can't remember the name of the song, so I got to do a little digging. But it was a Chris Brown joint. But Chris Brown always good for giving you some.
Yeah, he's always good.
Yeah. I remember he has a song with like either Drake is in the video but like you said, any Chris Brown song, he's going to work. Like it's almost like Kane in 87 to 89. Like you hear Kane verse, he just putting in work. It could be any verse you decide to pick. So I almost feel like with Chris Brown, you know, anything, this dude is just always doing something amazing, dancing or whatever like that. But BBD Poison is a very dope pick too, because you know, the niggas could dance. Veg, what you got up next, bro?
I'll say this for Chris Brown. He definitely keeping the dancing alive. I remember watching a video of him like at a cookout. Just I don't even know if they were battling. Small ass circle of them dancing. This nigga did a full backflip in the circle. He didn't hit nobody, nothing. I was like, this nigga's a dancing machine. Like he literally does not have to release nothing. He could just dance in everybody else's video to bring dancing back.
Yo, it's funny you say that. I want to say I saw something on IG where they like interviewed him when he first came out, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm still be able to do these moves 10 years from now." And then they like showed him 10 years from now, from that time, still doing the moves. Like you know, he's like, I'm gonna have to slow down and kind of find something else to do. But now it's like, nigga, 10 years later, and you still killing this shit, man.
It's because he's pretty tall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually
I don't know.
Dance that way.
I heard he's 6 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's tall.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he was that tall.
Yeah, that's so amazing about this literal small, like a really tight circle of people for him to do that move and not like kick somebody. It was crazy, but that's all that dude do. So, all right, on the hip hop side, I got the Chubster video by Chubb Rock
with Hot Dog in it.
Hot Dog, Dr. Ice.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
Like Hot Dog and Dr. Ice getting busy the whole video. Like I had to watch it twice.
Dr. Ice from UTFO?
Yeah, he's in it.
I never knew that.
Chubb Rock even stayed with Dr. Ice in the mix, and he grabbed him and like hug him.
Oh, I'm watching that shit as soon as we turn this off. I had no idea.
It's so dope because they just in the background getting busy, and it's not even they cut to them from time to time, but I just found myself watching them a lot of times, especially like when Chubb Rock is on the steps and you can kind of see them in the he's in the foreground or whatever. You can kind of see them back there. They just getting busy back there. They don't even know what the camera shot is lined up to, and I was just like, And that was, you know, like I forget when that came out, like maybe 91, something
Yeah,
like
probably
that.
91, because I was in high school. Because I remember Hot Dog would be doing those Q dances. And I didn't even know nothing about the Q dances. And we'd be in the fucking lunchroom doing that shit, not even know there's a fraternity and not knowing nothing about it. You know what I mean? Just like, yo, that's the dance he doing in the video or whatever.
Yeah, I really I love that
Hot
video.
Dog was dope, man. I forgot. I got all these people I want to shout out at the end, but in Hot Dog, I've totally forgot that one. So that's a dope pick.
Definitely one. He claimed a couple of videos getting busy in the background. So
yeah, that's dope.
On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with Usher. You Make Me Wanna. I remember like hearing that song and being like, "Damn, this song is dope." Like, you know how you feel like an artist was cool when they first dropped. Like, okay, little kid, cool, got a couple songs, cool. But when he came out with this, that was like the maturity and the video. I remember we were so hyped because the dancing routine, they took their fucking shoes off.
Shoes off, right?
And I was like, okay, that takes some skill. Because again, when I say I was dancing, So when you seeing shit like that, you're like, yeah, I can't do that. Like, what?
Now, Vay, I gotta show you the that was my next one. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it was up there. Now the kicking the shoes off. When I tell y'all the shit that I could do,
you can kick the shoes off. Okay, there you go.
I got to shout out Elise and JR because we actually talked about this one time on one of the episodes. We was doing like a little segment that they do on their show, and they asked me, "What do you think about when you hear this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I used to kick my shoes off. Better than Usher. Holla back." Yeah, that was one of my picks though.
That's dope, man. That's dope. It's a very and I guess somehow, again, we'll get into it, but like, I guess just R&B never got hard enough for the dancing to get played out, you know? So it's like hip hop got hard enough that we couldn't do it anymore, but that did. But we'll get into that. The next one I got up is Do This My Way by Kid and Play. Number one, there is a move when Play taps his foot, goes behind his back, taps his foot, grabs his leg, jumps over his leg. I used to do that, but I would go into a split when I did it. You know what I mean? So that's one of my favorite
right now, bro.
Yeah. I'm talking, yo, bro. I'll tell you what. Here's the wild part. I was with my homegirl. We were going to her housewarming party, and I saw somebody from high school, and she was like, "Oh my God, everybody, he used to be a dancer." And I'm like, that shit don't sound fly like 2005. Like, you know, like just wait, just chill with I was a dancer. Like, you know what I mean? But yo, like I was like heavy into it. Like me and Nate had some ill routines. Like we had it with Got It From Scuba Scrap, where like Nate would get on my shoulders and we be doing a dance, and then I kick out, going to a split, he jump off my, like, it was a complete, like, we were dead ass serious with our shit. Like, and just to think about again, how is nobody breaking nobody's neck? You know, I'm literally going to a split with a fucking 130-pound nigga on my neck. You know what I mean? And then jumping off, and don't even ask nobody why there was a 130-pound nigga on my neck. I know that shit sounds crazy now, but back in the day, that was cool. Okay, it was cool. So what were you gonna say, babe?
I was gonna say it's that young core.
Yeah.
When you jumping off or whatever, it didn't matter. It was all abs. So you know.
Yo, when I think I got this video and I'll send it to y'all. When Naomi asked me could I still do that move going into a split, and I did it, and I'll send it to y'all. It'll make y'all laugh. I did it. It just didn't look as good as it used to look back in the day. Like I'm like, babe, I could do it. She'd be like, nigga, if you don't sit your fibromyalgia scoliotic ass down, I'm not going to patient first tonight. You can do the move if you want, nigga, and you're gonna be in patient first by yourself. Like I'm not doing it tonight. And then also in Do This My Way, this is where this is the first time we see the infamous Kid and Play kick step, which to me is still one of the most iconic moves. I saw Cam and Mace trying to teach it to the shorty who hosts their show. Stab Baby trying to teach her the Kid and Play kick step. It's just an iconic move. It's crazy. Have y'all seen Kid and Play do this recently? Like when they're like old?
Yeah, I saw one video and the feet weren't connecting, so I just kept going. Kept
yeah. It's like, here's the bad part. Again, teach this to my kids all the time. It's a gift and curse for everything. The gift was this move is iconic. The curse is the move is iconic. So no matter what, you are always going to have to do this move because the fans will be like, y'all didn't do the kid and play kickstep. Like they may fucking go into a riot over it. And it's like, they're just so old. Like you said, babe, the feet ain't even touching no more. You know, there's no turnaround. They don't even try to do that move anymore. But again, that's an iconic for that. And for my Janet pick, I'm going with If. One of my favorite songs. I love If. I love the breakdown. I love the choreography. Again, you know, I think Janet's choreographer's name was Tina, if I'm not mistaken, but just the choreography was always Elve. Going back to you, Remember the Times. Gotta salute Big Les, because Big Les was, for people who may not know, was one of the most iconic hip-hop choreographers. If y'all watch Living Single, that's who was dancing at the beginning of Living Single. So gotta give Les her flowers because, you know, just one of the dopest choreographers that is out there. Easy, what you got up next, good brother?
That was actually my Janet pick.
Okay. Talk about If then. Talk about it, man.
I'm going. It's all good. I got backup. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm going a little more recent. I don't even know if y'all have seen this, but I just really appreciated the choreography in this. It's Missy Elliott, Throw It Back.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Might be like maybe like 5 to 7 years old. It's not like, you know, like prime Missy, but the choreography is really dope. They're doing, you know, Missy always do some creative shit, and there's a part where she got like some braids and they're doing double dutch on them and shit. Like it's fly. I think it's definitely worth, you know, yeah, at least checking it. The creativity gets a little crazy. And then R&B, you know, back to the moves that I was killing when I was young. So for real, Candy Rain, baby.
There you go.
I love. I was killing that shit, bro. Like undefeated.
Yo,
you know? That's my shit.
The crazy thing about these songs, man, I mean, they just gotta bring a smile to your face, man. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, certain songs you put on at the barbecue, if you ain't smiling and dancing, nigga, you the feds or Satan, one of the two. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you if you put on Candy Rain and you ain't singing and doing the dance with it and it's just it's like the dance comes with it. Like, you can't just sing it without doing the dance, you know. And that's how important this dance culture is that 20-30 years later you can't hear the song and not do the dance with it. Like, it don't even sit right, you know what I mean? And I miss it, man. I just miss that. And you know what it also is, and this is gonna go off tangent for a minute, I just miss the freedom that you could have in hip-hop. You know what I mean? Like the freedom. Like, we were talking about, for people who may not know, like, there was this gang truce in 73. And, you know, the truce is one of the things that said probably planted the seeds for hip-hop to start, because there was over so many gangs in New York. And, you know, it's like now they weren't going to be fighting. So it's like, what do you do? And so many of these people who were in gangs started to dance and started to do art and started to do emceeing. And, you know, it's just, it gave hip hop, it gave people a sense of freedom to kind of be who you wanted to be. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, we're gangs and we're killing each other, and it's me and Eb against Vegas and Easy, but it's a truce now? Oh, okay. Well, I kind of always wanted to dance. Oh, okay, well, break dance. Like, Easy, like, I always wanted to do art. Okay, let's do some graffiti. And it just gave you a freedom. And I feel like nowadays you don't have that freedom. You know, and even when you do have the freedom to do something, somebody will use that shit against you. You know what I mean? Like, I know nobody but me and me, Nay, and Kendrick like this last Kendrick album, but it's like, I feel like him being open gave Drake like, oh, nigga, your mom gay, or you this, that, and such. It's like, you can't even be free because niggas is going to use me voicing how I'm trying to be honest in my music, but then y'all going to use the same shit against me. And it's like, that's what I just loved about these times, is like, nobody was like as easy, like you said, as hard as Kane was, who was going to tell Kane you wasn't dope doing these dance steps?
You feel me?
Nobody.
Or
nobody.
Have.
Like, nobody was gonna be like, look at this nigga dancing. Like, no, if anything, we got even hype that Kane was dancing. Like Vague just said, like, he was part of the performance. Whereas, I mean, like I said, like we gonna get into that 93, 40 in the Blunt era, because again, I always tell niggas, yo, if Illmatic comes out in 90, Jungle and some other nigga from QB may have been doing some dance steps in the background.
Know me?
You know what I mean? You come out 3 years later, now niggas is just twisted on stage with a Heineken and a blunt, like, you know, barely sober, just bumping into each other on stage. And again, it's just how we said, from Breakin to a year later, it's like, yo, this is how much phases changed in hip hop back then. You know, again, people don't even know G-Rap had dances because he's the gangster of rap. So it's like, how the fuck why would G-Rap have dances? You know what I mean? There's somebody watching right now like, G-Rap had dances? Nigga, Road to Riches? Yes, like that was just part of the game. Like, so again, I just miss this freedom that just came with dancing. And I bet you there's a lot of people who want to dance and just don't feel like they can. Like, they got to just stay in this two-step. It's like, damn, nigga, I want to break loose. You know what I mean? But it's like they just can't do it. Like, the first time I met Grap, I'm at a club in DC, and I'm like, yo, who's this dancing ass nigga over here? Like, all over the place. And niggas like, yo, that's Grap Love. I'm like, no, the fuck that's not. Because not knowing Grap just seems as an MC, this real cool, calm dude who just laid up against the bar. Yo, Grap still gets it into this day. You know what I mean? If you look up, go Google the Common Pete Rock show here in DC. Grap is on stage. Grap is there. Anytime, look up CL Smooth out here at the Bethesda Jazz Cafe. Grap is on stage dancing, and I love it. Like, I fucking love it, because he's the only one. And you know what? Grap don't give a fuck. He don't care that he's the only one. He loves dancing. This is how he expresses himself. And he'll always be like, and he got scoliosis. So he's like, kill you know, after I'm done, I'm dead. But it don't matter to him. Like, he loves that. That's his expression. And it just feels sad that hip hop is at a point where everything is just so hard. You just can't do it anymore. You know, so what's up, Vic?
No, I was just gonna reiterate some of your points, just to say that, you know, as somebody who grew up with the break dancing and the popping and was used to dancing in clubs, you know, through the 90s, early 2000s, dance hall, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that I kind of hated it too, because it kind of took away from what the club meant. You know, like, I wasn't in the club long enough to see when it got to a point where, you know, the dudes wasn't even dancing with the chicks. And some of them don't even remember, like, certain hip hop records that were super lyrical. You could dance with a shorty and spit the bars together. Like, all of it was some form of dancing, even if it was something minimal like that.
Right.
I will say, I got to give a lot of props to the Lost Boys, because I feel like they were dancing in their videos, you know what I'm saying? And they reminded me a lot of Zhigge, even though they weren't getting crazy with it. They were hardcore, but they were making like party records that could be hardcore, you could dance to, and, you know,
Naughty too. Naughty
by nature, right.
No.
So I think some people tried to keep it alive.
What I never understood was, how do you create this correlation that, oh, he's dancing, he's having fun, he's soft. I don't understand that. Right. Yo, bro. So I'm from Haverhill, Massachusetts, right? And like the neighboring city is Lawrence. And Lawrence is it's very small, very violent. It's like a little mini Manhattan, like small little height shit. Very heavily populated by Dominicans. Bro, and I used to go to the clubs, and these dudes is doing the heel toe, Pondy River, butterfly, and they shooting motherfuckers outside after.
Bro.
So I'm like, what makes you think?
Bro, I can say the same thing. In the 80s, in the 80s, the house parties, niggas would be dancing and then rob the motherfucking house party. Like, niggas was not coming in. Like, niggas would come in, fucking do the kid and play, do the hammer, be sweating, and be like, all right, everybody run y'all shit. like, yo, so I'm with you, E. Like, I just think in hip hop, it got to this point where it was just like, yo, we hard now. Niggas is wearing fatigues. Niggas is wearing Timbs. I never forget, like, I came to Morgan in 92, never owned a pair of Timbs. I don't even know if I knew what Timbs were at that time. You know what I mean? Got the Morgan. Onyx was popping. Everybody is, fatigued out and everything like that. So it's like, one, you can't dance in Timberlands. You can't only do a 2-step in Timberlands. Like now we ain't even comfortable enough to do shit. But I just think it just, you shaving your head bald and crews pop, and it's like, yo, niggas, everybody's hard, and it's kind of just like you're looking at the videos, and I feel like, at least for me, I was emulating what I saw in the videos. So if I saw people dancing, I danced. I got most of my moves from the video. Where did we get the Running Man from? So a video. So now when we're seeing videos, you're seeing Onyx, and you look at Throw Your Guns, and then you look at fucking Do This My Way. It's the complete polar opposite from each other. And so like you said, E, I think it just got to a point where like 50 said, I'm in the club doing my same old 2-step. Like the 2-step just became the gangster dance. It was like, this is how we dance. You know what I mean? So
we're gonna talk about it when we get there.
Yeah. I'm sorry I went on my rant. The easy way you went because you said your thing. So Ev, it's you, right?
I think vague. I think we're not back to kill. I don't know. I lost track.
I think you just real.
I just went. So then easy. What you got next?
So I think this is my 5th one.
All right.
Yeah.
No. Then it's you, Ev. It's you. Because Easy just said, I think something else. Hold on.
I've done 4. I'll say, how many did you do, Kill? Did you do 5?
Yeah, you just did Throw It Back. You just did Throw It Back with Missy, right?
Yeah, that was my 4th joint.
All right.
Yeah, that was the 4th. So Ev, you next.
All right.
In Rain, yeah.
My hip hop joint is going to be Kwame, Only You.
Ooh.
I had to take that joint back because you talk about them polka dots, man. That's where that was my polka dot influence right there, of course.
Oh man,
known from having a nice amount of people on stage with him, and they was all getting busy.
Yeah.
So that was Kwame 90s. Is that 90s? That was 90s, right?
Yeah, that's 91, bro. That is a great pick. I was just telling people I love that Kwame album. I'm the only one called Day in the Life. I love that album, man.
It was a good album. Very good album. So that was that's my hip hop joint. Shout out to Kwame. And for my R&B joint, what did I have? I just had one. Michael. This is my Michael one. Rock With You.
Okay.
With all the lights and shit. Speaking of 2-steps, all Mike did in that video was a 2-step. But he throw that little leg up every once in a while. He'd be like, damn, Mike is getting it right now. So that was my Mike joint with Mike doing the least, but still doing the most. Rock With You.
That's dope. That's dope. Hey, what you got up for your 4th joint?
For my 4th joint, I got I don't even know if I should say his name, but I'll say Bad Boy and Family.
Okay. Let's get. Ooh.
When I saw that,
G-Dep,
Black Rob, the dancers in that joint, the Harlem Shake, like Unright. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, when that shit was, I was still in the club. Probably shouldn't have been. I was married with a 1 month old, but. In DC, like DC, what was it? Love or whatever. Being in there, you know what I'm saying? That shit come on. We already know we in foreign land, but we ain't give a fuck. Like we just straight like, yeah, we here to do the Harlem Shake. But that video was it was perfect for that song. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like an anthem. Like Eve had a joint too, where the dances was crazy in that video. But yeah, that Let's Get video was like, it made you want to do that dance. You know what I'm saying? Which is like what we said with New Edition and all of that. It just made you want to learn those steps. And for my R&B, I'm not the biggest fan of the group. I like songs here and there, but I remember I like this song a lot, and I really like the video because it felt like it was a million people in the video, and they were all doing the dance routine. That's TLC's "What About Your Friends." I just remember it was it was like 100 people, and they all doing the same dance, and that shit just looked dope to me to see like in a wide shot, including TLC do it also. But I remember like that made me love the song. I watched the video a million times. I think around then, because I'm one of those dudes. If I don't really like you, I'd be like stubborn with I ain't trying to learn that shit. This shit good though. Yeah, I ain't trying to learn it. Then I try to learn the dance and shit. But yeah, I just want to get that a shout because I just remember seeing that imagery and was like, yo, this kind of a dope video on some, on some culture shit again, So.
Nah, that shit was dope as shit, man. That was a dope pick. The last joint I got up before I go into all my honorable mentions, I gotta go with It Takes Two, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, man. R.I.P. Easy Rock, man. It was this boy in the video who has on a green Nike sweatsuit that I would have given a kidney for in 1988 to have that Nike sweatsuit. And I mean, just like even when the video starts, they just on 125th Street, and like you said, Vegas, like everybody just doing this move, and then at the end they start doing these crazy moves, and it was just like, yo, that I just wanted that Nike sweatsuit so bad, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's another thing that brought back so many memories. I mean, seeing the Heavy D, Overweight Lover, the Coca-Cola shirts. I'm like tripping, like, yo, we used to fucking want Coca-Cola shirts, like of a fucking drink, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, it's Coca-Cola. Like, we ain't even Nike and Adidas yet, but just seeing some of the stuff that was just so dope back then. Now, here's a joint that a lot of people don't know about. It's actually a slow song, and it's Layla Hathaway, Baby Don't Cry. And they just had these dancers in it, and I don't know if they were special eds dancers who I'm gonna give a shout out to later, but they were like dudes who had like the twist. Back in like 90, you kind of had the baldy, and then the twist just on the top, like kind of like how Busta did, like with leaders. And they were just doing dances, and it was just like, yo, this shit is so dope, and it's a slow song. But Google the video, YouTube the video. It's a very dope. Love the song, and the dances in it were dope too. Who produced it? Angela Bofield produced it. So it's very, if you like Renee and Angela stuff, that's the Baby Don't Cry feel to it. It's like that Angela Bofield feel to it. So very dope joint. Easy, what you got up for your fifth joint, bro?
Funny enough, you mentioned special ed because I really like what they was doing in the I Got It Made video. They were just having fun, I don't know if it was like I don't remember if it was like a church or a city hall type building.
It was a school. That was the school we went to.
That what it was? School?
Yeah.
They're out there, they're just having a good time, and like I said, it was easy to emulate. So I like that joint a lot. And again, fire song. So y'all took a few of my R&B picks, man, but I came up with one pretty easy because Kill, you just gave me a layup, man. You said you can't dance in Tim's, but that Omarion Touch video says otherwise. He was smoking that shit in the street, bro. I gotta mention Omarion Touch.
There you go, right there. That was a hard ass video, B. Yeah, and I'm not gonna hold you. I tried to learn some of them steps too, man. Omarion is a dope ass dancer.
I did not try to learn those.
I just say that I don't have a problem. I tried to learn some of them steps because I was like, this nigga's fucking incredible. Like some people can just dance. Like, and Omarion is one of them boys who just can dance. Very, very, very dope pull on that one, man. Very dope.
We gotta give that one a shout.
Yeah. What you got up for your last joint now?
All right, my last joint. This one, I think it's funny because growing up in Philly, you don't know what's local until late on in life. I think this cat might have been local, but Larry Laugh. That's what they call me. The dances in that video was killing it. And like I said, I don't know if it was local. I know I was in Philly, so it was a big deal there. I don't know if it actually spread out like that, but the video was crazy. The dances was crazy. And I did try to learn all them joints and didn't work out, but I'm still here, still breathing. I do have a question to follow. I have a question. There's a video I was trying to think of. I don't know. I think it was Scoop and Scrap. I know the routine, and the routine is when the one cat goes, he jumps on the other dude's back, and they're kind of like doing this like turn move. Anybody know this shit I'm talking about?
You know what? I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, oh my God. You're talking about MC Light. Oh God. First single off the second album. Not Stop, Look, and Listen. What's it? Kick this one. Now I'm gonna kick this one here for me and my. You could cha cha cha. It's cha cha cha.
That's what it is. Cha cha cha. That's what it is. I was trying to think of that was the joint I was trying to think. I couldn't remember who it was. I was like, that Scoop and Scrap, it was somebody.
Nah. Those were lights dancers. I forgot their name. But that's a very dope move, bro. I knew the movie you were talking about when you said, yeah, that's Cha Cha Cha.
That shit lives in my head forever. Because that shit was, it wasn't even crazy what they were doing. You look back on it now. But as a kid looking at it, it was amazing. I was definitely thrown by that joint. As far as my R&B, I think I might be tapped out on the R&B joints. I think anything else that I got left might be, I was not even Mary, because Mary can't dance. No. I think I'm tapped out on my R&B joints.
Yeah, Mary cannot dance. That is not her ministry. That is not.
Yeah, dance music.
Yeah, she got dance music, but that dancing is not her ministry. She's on the choir. She is not on the mime ministry at the First Baptist of Yonkers Cathedral. Babe, what you got up for your last joints, bro?
All right, on the hip hop side, I got Missy Elliott, Work It. That video crazy. A lot of olds to old school hip hop. The dances she got in the video with her were getting crazy. The little girl was getting crazy in the video. Like, I just remember that because I love the music. Even there's a scene, even when like Timbaland's on the phone, and again you got the dancers in the background all the way up the steps, but you look past him after a while, like, damn, them dancers up there getting busy to this joint, as if they didn't even know, they said action or whatever. But the video itself is dope, but it's a lot of dancing in it. Like most Missy videos have a lot of dance routines in it or whatever, but that video in particular, because I like the beat, and when I heard the record, obviously coming from a culture of dancing, I expected that, and they delivered. I watched that shit today, and I was like, yo, this shit's still hot. You know what I'm saying? On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with Janet, Rhythm Nation. I heard about it before I saw it, and at first, I saw a couple of things and was kind of like, what's the big deal? But when I watched the entire video, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. Like the video's different. It matches the idea of this Rhythm Nation. It matches this I don't know, almost like apocalyptic, futuristic, military kind of style look or whatever they were going for, honestly, or noir look. But it was just dope to see the routines, the choreography, and to see again the artists like keep up with the dancers, because you got to lead, you got to be ill. Like when Michael Jackson was leading a bunch of fucking zombies, he was crazy, and the zombies was getting crazy. They was pop locking and breakdancing, all kinds of shit. So I think Michael and Janet probably learned from Michael too. Like, Pete, you need these videos to be chock with more than just the record visually. It has to be a spectacle visually. So right. Yeah, that was mine.
All right, the only joints I got left over, I got Latifah's Dance for me. No really specific, dances, but just, the song is about dancing, so it's a lot of dope shots. Toss It Up, Zhigge. You know what I mean? I always tell people, really one of the seeds for my low addiction was Zhigge, because if you look at that and Breakin in the Dough, some beautiful pieces in there. Easy brought him up. Special Ed, you got the Magnificent, man. I love that video. Praying Slow, who is still dancing on IG. He was one of his backup dancers. And I think that was it for that. Easy. You got any honorable mentions? Anything that was left over?
Got one.
What you got? That's a smile. That's a big smile, bro.
I'm gonna give it away. Y'all ready?
You talking about Brandy? I Want to Be Down? There you
go. I was smoking that shit too, man. You know what I mean?
Right, that nigga had it down. Like, I don't know how to do that, Joe, but Easy had it perfect.
Gotta give a little shout out to Brandy, you feel me?
Alright. That's dope. Ev, you got anything left over?
Any honorable mentions? Hammer. Already said Hammer. You can play. Nah, I think that's it.
All right, no doubt. Oh, and I had one more, and it's not a video, but I gotta give love to this: the house party dance scene, where Kid and Play is battling Tisha Campbell and Shorty Jody's mom from Baby Boy. You know, just a dope dance battle, and just takes me back to what house parties looked like in the 90s. Like, this is what you would do. You would practice your routines, go to the dance party, go to the not dance party, you go to the house party, and you do your routines. You know what I mean? If it's somebody else there, you battle them, and you know when it take off. What you gonna say?
I do got to honorable mention Steady B.
Serious. How did I forget that, Jordan? Oh my God!
They danced to that whole video in the back.
Ooh, Steady B serious,
his
man.
big boy dance song.
Steady B serious, man. Top 5 remix ever for me, man. I love that remix, man. That shit was crazy, man. Bae, you got any honorable mention, Jones?
Yeah, I got a couple. On the hip hop side, I got MC Trouble, Gotta Get a Grip. Dances was in the background. She always had some dope dances. She had another song where it was all dancing, but there's one particular shorty in both of her videos that used to get busy. I don't even remember her name. I just remember she stood out just being ill. I don't know what happened to her, but MC Trouble, Gotta Get a Grip. You know, it's like a serious subject as far as the song goes, but like you said, back then, dances right around the fire trash can, just getting busy, just dancing in the background. I had Redhead Kingpin Do the Right Thing. I always like that video for the dances. Also, this is a more recent joint, but I love watching the video for the dances. Farnsworth Bentley with 3000 and Kanye.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Farnsworth was getting busy in that joint. Like, I like the fact that they were doing like old school routines mixed with some new moves and stuff like that. It was a very dope video for that time. On the easy side of things was something that was very catchy and easy and anybody could do it. And I don't even know if it was a dance, but they just kept doing it in the video, so we all did it. Ed OG and the Bulldogs, I Gotta Have It. I know what I'm talking about.
Dance, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And three on the R&B side, I had Aaliyah, Rock the Boat. I also had Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, Scream, because I thought when they danced together in that video, shit was crazy. And this wasn't a video, but at some point in time, older records had videos of like live performances. They would just turn them into videos. So I'm gonna go old school. James Brown, Cold Sweat. I remember seeing that shit and just watching it over and over and over. Like, I never seen somebody do splits so clean and just get up like it was nothing. And I remember watching it, like how he was moving and all that shit with the music. And honestly, like reacting to like the people around me who were older, watching him dance like that and knowing he influenced like Michael and other people. So that was my last honorable mention. So.
That's dope. I want to give out some shout outs to some of these dance crew. Ev, you brought them up, the TCF crew, the Chosen Few. They were G-Raps dancers. You got the Bad dancers. They were the Body Action dancers. These were the shorties. These were Kid and Play's backup dancers. So these are the shorties who are in this on the back of the album cover. They're the shorties who were in the Do This My Way video. You are my man. Now, Ev, you brought up Larry Laugh. That's what they call me. You know what I mean? You know Jason, who was in my grade.
Yeah, was in that video.
He wasn't their dancer in that video. He became their dancer in the Confused video. So if y'all look at Larry Laugh's Confused video, the only thing I hate about the video is they shot all their dance moves from above, so you can't even see their face. You know what I mean? So I shout out my man Jason Patrice for that. You had the two hype dancers, which was Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith's dancers. You'll remember them from the Brand New Funk video. You know, when he like, the two hype dancers get busy. You know what I mean? You had the Safari sisters, who were Latifah's dancers. You know what I mean? You had you shouted them out, F. Steezo with the You Guys to Chill. Bae, you came in with the Hot Dog from Chub Rock. And I also got a shout out 3 times Dope Dancers. I knew one of their names was Georgie Porgy, and then another, I forgot the other one's name, but they got busy in the No Words remix video. They were getting busy out there in that joint. So just wanted to send some love to some of the dance peoples. I know a lot of times. Oh, what you got, man?
One more. Fendi, who I think was in So What You Saying video.
Yeah.
Okay.
That dude was nice. Like,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah. So
And like Ed said earlier, the outfits, because it was like the way he was moving in his shirt. It was like, yo, I got to get a shirt.
Yeah.
I gotta get that shirt. I need a Gordon Gartrell right now. That's the shirt I need, because the way it flows in the wind when he dances, I gotta get that. So yeah, just wanted to give some love to some of these crews who, you know, I feel like it's Scoob and Scrap, Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper, and Heavy D and the Boys, and it's like that's it. And it's like, nah, there was a lot of dope dancers, and I'm sure I know I'm leaving out millions. Please forgive me, anybody on the West Coast. I don't know too many. I know Def Jeff had dancers, so salute to them. And we got our own gang video. They like came out the projects, and they came out dancing and everything. Loved it. I don't need no West Coast, East Coast slander shit going on. You know, put it in the comments of who the dopest West Coast dancers was. I just honestly don't remember too many West Coast niggas dancing. Like, keeping in mind, like, we're really talking about NWA, so I mean, and moving forward, so I don't remember anybody in the Ice-T videos dancing, you know. So before y'all kill me out there,
in the videos, but it wasn't choreographed.
And it wasn't their dancers. Like, again, NWA didn't have dancers, MC8 didn't have dancers. Right. Those things just didn't pop off like that.
Was a dancer though.
Yeah, Pac was dancing. That's a very good thing. And I'm sitting here, I don't know how I'm sitting here with this thing right behind me. We're not talking about the Bismarck dance. You know what I mean? Like, the Biz dance is probably one of the illest dances ever. You know what I mean? Do the Bismarck. So definitely got to give love to that. Ease, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about why dancing got played out, you know, and just some of the things. What's some of your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah. So I think we got bamboozled, bro. Like, I'm not sure if y'all seen this whole this video that there's like this conspiracy theory where they say like the feds set up the whole gangster rap shit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how true that is, but that shit, I feel like that really brainwashed everybody, because that was a turning point where it got real gangster, and then it was like, if you had fun, you sold out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you kind of got it makes me think of the Zhigge era, right? The whole bad boy era. And how, whether you disliked it, whether you liked it, that's beside the point. But the one thing I always said, they was like, like people looked at Puff like he was like a hip hop antichrist kind of in that point, like the purists. But it was like, yo, now you saw always be like, yo, but they're dancing and they're having fun. That's how it started. Like, what's the difference? That was always my beef. So we got to a point where we kind of got like brainwashed into believing that shit was selling out. And now, like, there was a point where it was like, oh, well, yeah, that's that real shit. And if you couldn't twist your face to it, it wasn't that real shit. So I feel like, we were manipulated with that, during that whole era and all that, and then just wasn't cool. It wasn't cool no more.
Right.
It wasn't cool to be fun anymore. You know what I mean? They, Bad Boy and them, they OD'd and all that with like the, shiny suits and all that. Like, they magnified it. Yeah, they went crazy with it. But in essence, they were having fun, right? They were still looping samples, right? They were still sampling. It was just more of a dance vibe, and motherfuckers just wasn't rocking with it, because we got into this era where it was just like, this is what we want right here, and if you can't do that, we don't want it. Right.
Now, I agree. I think it's two different things. The thing about the feds is one thing. I definitely believe that it was like, look, this music is getting black folk they're getting too revolutionary. They got people out here reading books. We gotta dead this PE shit. So let's flood them with the gangster shit. That's the one thing. Now the Puff side of it, for me at least, I was coming from the way I always tell people is how you was raised. I was raised in making beats that you're looking for an obscure sample. You're looking for something that it's cheating if you go out and you loop up something that was already a hit just to make a hit, because And Poke would talk about this from the track masters. Tone, I forgot which one. I think Tone was the party. And Tone would go to the Tunnel or whatever club. Whenever the DJ was playing the old school set, he saw the shit that would make people go crazy. He'd go home to Poke and be like, yo, we got to loop up these 5 songs. It'll kill the club. You know what I mean? So for me, they're two different things. Now, for me, I didn't mind the people dancing in the video. What's that?
No, I'm saying they're very different conversations. I just meant like in general, like they were having fun. And people just didn't like it. It was almost just wasn't cool to have fun no more. Like you going into like a deeper producer conversation, which I understand.
No, but yeah. No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Like you feel what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, you know, like the in general, like, you know, they was dancing, they was having fun, and you know, they weren't like great dancers or nothing, but they were like encouraging you to go to, you know, to dance and enjoy yourself. And we just wasn't rocking with it. There was a lot of shit I wasn't rocking with either. I liked a lot of it. I hated a lot of it. You know, so I'm not saying just it was me too.
But see, I guess for me, I never minded them having fun. Like to me, that was the thing. I never was like, look at these niggas over here dancing.
In general though, more general, right? Not you.
Right, but I think, and again, I can only speak for me that it was y'all niggas are cheating. That's how it was for me. You know what I mean? Like it was like you're cheating. You're just looping up shit that you know, because the goal was just to make money. You know, like D-Dot said, D-Dot was just on Math Alpha, and it's like, oh, but my checks come. Oh, y'all hating because my checks come. My checks come, but then at the same token, you mad because nobody giving you no love like they give Dylan. And see, what the thing is you can't have it both ways, my nigga. You got to choose. And what you chose was the money route. You can't get both. A lot of people don't get both. You know what I mean? Very few people. Fab is one of them dudes who get money, but also get respect as being an MC. Yeah. It's hard to do both. You know what I mean? So again, maybe the people were mad that they were out dancing, having fun. My biggest thing was, why can't we dance and have fun like we used to? We used to dance and have fun. The Public Enemy, niggas would be in the house parties dancing the Rebel without a pause, like at 138 BPMs per minute. So my biggest thing was the people who was dancing to Puffin them. Why can't y'all come over here and dance the Dayline Common? You know what I mean? Is it the BPMs weren't enough? So that was where my thing was. I want everybody to dance.
They weren't getting pushed though like that though, Kill.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. And Veg, I think this would be great for you because you've always blended in both worlds. You stayed at the club. So how did you feel like? Did you feel like the Zhigge shit was danceable, but maybe the Daylight shit wasn't? Did you feel like you could dance in the club that's playing the Zhigge shit, but if you go to an underground spot in Brooklyn, you can't dance to the shit they playing?
I think some songs, even if they were underground, were danceable and did cross over into the club, because there were plenty of songs like that. But I think you and Easy have the same point in a lot of ways from what I'm about to say, because I agree with Easy when you say, it's about fun. We just gonna loop up this record. I mean, Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight was that. It was a loop of an already popular record. A lot of the break beats and stuff was like, well, that's just James Brown. It's just looped. You know what I'm saying? But I think to your point, Kill, it became less about this is a groove, so let's rap to it because it'll all be dope, and more of let's do it because it makes money. I think the intentions changed at some point. Now, I was all for it, you know what I'm saying, because I liked it. And again, I don't want to repeat the bars. Easy got the Biggie hat on, but people were crying about I love the dough. But when that nigga said ice reflect off lights, shit flashes, blonde and broke asses, still got rocks in the beard and mustaches, those are bars in a dance record with a loopy. So to me, there was a method to the madness that, Big was excellent at, Jay was excellent at, some guys was, but to your point, there was just far more people just saying, oh, just like Mike Geronimo, like, what are you doing looping shit up like that? You know what I'm saying? But maybe Mike Geronimo wanted to have fun. So
that's a good point. That's a great point, because then it became, oh, this is popular now. Let's all try it. And just everyone was not good at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Big was really effortless with it, bro. Like Big would get on those like when you listen to Hypnotize, he was talking that shit on Hypnotize too.
Yeah.
He was sliding. Big was just floating on everything. Like he's a different guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, look.
Even Nas was struggling a lot trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, he was really struggling on a lot of those joints. It didn't come as naturally to him. I feel like now he kind of found a groove. He's doing songs with like a lot of the newer artists, and he sounded, you know, Hit Boy had a lot to do with that.
Right.
But you know, it just became a thing where, you know, they established the formula, and then it became the thing, and they got oversaturated. It's like, oh, this bullshit again. Everyone's trying it. Like, just because it worked for him, it don't mean it worked for you. That probably has something to do with it too. Oh, like this shit again. You know how it is when something gets too popular?
Yeah.
Oh, this bullshit again. You know?
And it's funny because this is a great conversation, because now I just wrote down, did the rules in hip hop stop the fun? And what I mean by the rules is, like you said, Vague, Sugar Hill Gang, loop. Hell, Paid in Full is looping up Don't Look Any Further, that just came out 2 years before Paid in Full did. You know what I mean? But the rules weren't implemented yet. The rules of you can't loop something. I don't know when it came, but somehow
Is that a double standard though?
It can be a double standard. Like I'm trying to figure out now, like when did the rules come into play for it to be you have to find some dusty impression song that nobody but your mother knows for it to be real hip hop. I talk about how Evil D talks about it in this book, Check the Technique. The recognized remix with Smith and Wesson when they loop up Grover Washington, just the two of us. The reason Still produced that was because Evil said, I'm not doing that shit. In my producer circle, I will be laughed out of the fucking circle on some old, did you just loop up the same shit Will Smith just looped up to talk about his goddamn son over? No, I'm not doing that. So that's why Still got the production credit, because Still went out and did it. So it's almost like, that's why I'm writing down like, damn, did the rules of hip hop, of it being, okay, think about Gangstar, all as much as we love Gangstar, they weren't looping anything we knew. None of us knew that fucking Come Clean was Shelly Man. None of us knew what Work was. None of us knew what Just to Get a Rep was. Pete and CL. None of us knew what Reminisce was. We're not listening to the hip hop groups that we talk about like, oh, that shit is just Tom Scott, side 2, such and such. When we heard Bucktown, we went, oh, man, that's Jack Bruce, man. Come on, everybody knows Jack Bruce. So
That's
the thing, oh, we gonna say, and then I'll come to you, babe.
I think that's the point for me. I don't think it's necessarily. I mean, when it first started, when Cass was first looping the popular songs, it was a little bit of a knock, because it was like you didn't really do that. You didn't put up that much effort to do what you were doing. So back in the day, before that time period, you know, producers were musicians in that way. You had to go. There was a process. You had to go. You had to dig, because part of that was your style. When Pete, everything that Pete loops and how Pete did his thing, and he'll pull this one over here and match with this one over there, that was Pete's style. Preem had a style, so everybody had a style, and their style reflected of how they dug, what samples they pulled out to the surface, and how they looped that shit up. So when it came to a point where it was like, yo, you just took the most famous song, that's kind of the formula for a pop record. You want to make a pop record, then loop something that everybody knows. You can play it at any barbecue, and everybody's gonna get up and do something. Use that same loop, put some lyrics on it, and it's almost like it's impossible for it to not go popular. And I think that kind of was the little bit of the notch. Like, yo, wait a minute, you can't, you know what I mean? You're not working hard enough to make that happen. Now, I think now it's kind of like everything is like shades of the lines are so blurred, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, yo, if it's dope, it's dope. Which, you know, I definitely, you know, I'm a fan of. I got to say this real fast, though, when we talk about the West Coast, only because my wife is a choreographer and we go back and forth a lot. So I've had a chance to really talk to some cats out there. The shit that they was doing out there is still, I will say, they still hold like that dance shit, like the crump. And I forget what the clown thing is called, but it's like, it's a whole, still an underground movement. And I'll give them that. Like, they held on to that shit, and it still to this day is an underground movement. There was a cat who was in the crump, and we never got a chance to go, but he invited us to a crump circle. But you got to be invited to these joints. I didn't know, like, you got to be invited to an actual crump like circle, and you guys come out and you just got to go in there and just watch the shit. So I think that speaks a lot to this whole idea. I mean, we talk about hip hop. Hip hop itself was already something that came from underground. Like, nobody really knew about it like that. and that kind of was what kept it pure in a sense, or kept it what it was. I'm not gonna say pure, but kept it what it was. And you know, when we talk about the West Coast, I'll say when that revolution of hip hop came back around in like the 2010s, and I guess it's called turf music, turf dancing, or whatever like that. It was these cats out of Oakland. It was like 2010, 2009. These cats out of Oakland was the first time I seen cats dancing on camera again. These cats just stay on the street. They on the street and they just getting it in. It's the React film. I had to pull it up. React Films. I think the brother transition's name might have been Rich D, I think. But it's called Turf Fiends. Yo, I remember seeing this shit years ago and was like, yo, cats is dancing again. And these motherfuckers are nasty with it. So I got to give it to, I got to definitely salute my hat to the West Coast because they hold it in a different way. But of course, because we're so far apart, a lot of stuff don't travel from one side to the other the way it used to. The way that it does now, it's still a growing thing, learning that culture, what is happening over there.
Right. Meg, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think where things changed, I think early on, again, the intentions was, it might have been more so, what are you looping than how you're doing it. And that's why people was like, yo, I'm going to grab this, or I'm going to grab from this record, or I'm going to, flip that and loop it. And just like with hip hop, which was more simplistic to people back then, the producing evolved and had certain rules, and so did the lyricism. And they did it at the same time, maybe late 80s, early 90s or whatever, especially 90s, where then it became these, you have to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper with your bars. You got to dig deeper with your rhyming style. I liken it to, like what I be trying to explain to my brother, he still don't get it, but action movies, right? He's still like the dumb 80s Action Jackson, chase down the fucking cab at full speed. But since shit like The Matrix, we'll say shit, yo, that don't even make sense, because blah, 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 blah. But we remember back then, Arnold Schwarzenegger could kill 100,000 people. And you're like, yo, one nigga couldn't get the shot when he wasn't looking. So I think there's an evolution in these things. And the last thing I'll say is I really feel like the dancing shit became not cool when Fat Joe said, all we do is this, and it's lean back. Because that told everybody, yeah, this shit is cool. You know what I'm saying? We could do this now. Did I do it? No, because I come from a dancing background.
That was way later though, bro. Right? What was lean back? 2003? I think the people was past dancing way before that, no?
I don't think so, because why would he make a record like that? Like, why you gonna make a record about dancing to say what you're just doing when and in the club, I was in the club.
It does support the point of we're too tough to dance though.
Right. My niggas don't dance, we just pull up our pants and do the rock. And it was cool. But then it was like you said, that
shit was a movement. It became a movement too.
Yeah, like why you doing all of that jumping all over the place shit, nigga? We just doing this.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, the name of this episode was going to be called "They Don't Dance No More," off that Goody Mob joint that they dropped in '97. Like, they don't dance no more. All we do is this. All we do is this. Like, we don't dance no more. And I think too, Easy, back to what you were saying. I think too, the labels played a huge part in that, because there was a lot of people who didn't want to follow the just loop whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the label's like, nah, nigga, we gotta sell records. And we are in. It's funny because they were saying how Russell would be getting mad at people, at his engineers, like, yo, why can't you do that fucking shit Marley is doing in Queensbridge? This nigga's making these hits in the projects. Nigga, you got a 48-track studio, make that shit. You know what I mean? So we've always been, not we, but the industry has always been about what's dope, okay, emulate what that is. There's a lot of people who may have been like, yo, I don't want to just loop up MC Light Cold Rock a Party and just loop up Upside Down by Diana Ross. You know what I mean? Like, but if the label is telling you got to do that shit to sell records, you owe us this amount of money, then like you said, now it's becoming, now it's just watered down. Now it's becoming, with the NBA is with a 3-point shot. You can have a 4-on-1 fast break and somebody's taking a 3. Like, nigga, it's 4 of you on 1. If y'all don't jump that shit,
crazy.
Right, but the thing is the Steph Curry effect. And I don't blame Steph. I blame the people the coaches who have allowed other players who aren't called Steph to shoot these crazy shots from, you know, the motherfucking. I mean, I'm watching the WNBA game last night, and I'm like, yo, I know this chick is now about to take a step back three from the logo, and she does it, and she hits
it down,
and she knocks it down because now
she's like that.
This is now what we're playing. I don't know if y'all remember, it was this meme of Patrick Ewing at Georgetown yelling at his kids like, when the fuck do you practice that? When did you just shoot? Like, when do we ever practice that shit? These niggas practice these shots, shooting from half court and doing all this stuff. So again, and then I think it's also great point about Oakland, because it's this show called Blind Spot, and I forgot it's either on Stars or Showtime, but it's based in Oakland, and the Oakland hip hop scene is like such a part. You know how like Baltimore was part of the Wire series, like it was almost like the underrated character of the Wire. That's what hip hop is like in this. And there's dancing in every episode. Like, and it just showed me like, yo, okay, so these boys is really out here and they doing some thorough ass dances. I'm like, oh, how you doing? Oh, they show me how to do that little dance over there. They doing like, so I definitely know what you're talking about, like with the West Coast, you know, still doing it. But yo, I would love for the fun to just come back in hip hop. You know what I mean? I miss those days of Kid and Play and Kwame, because all those people had that. They just ran into a brick wall. It just after Easy, you said ain't gonna hurt nobody. After Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, Kid and Play ran into a brick wall. Nigga, there's no more dancing. Y'all, the whole Herbie Love Bug crew, just y'all kicked out the club. Y'all got to go. Kwame, pack up your polka dots. One Biggie said the polka dot, you got to go. Yeah. All y'all fun having motherfuckers got to go. If y'all don't got bars like this, y'all can't make music no more. And that's essentially what happened, because Kid and Play couldn't make music anymore. Kwame really couldn't make music anymore. Sweet Tea couldn't make music anymore. Dana Dane couldn't make music anymore.
Damn,
I want to add something. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, just real quick, that's true, because when you think about the reverse, groups like that, like, I don't know if Kid and Play did it, they might have tried, but there was plenty of groups who was like, okay, we're gonna try to make something hardcore, but the shit didn't work. UMC's first album was Blue Cheese, and we dancing, and second album was like Unleashed, and they like rah on the cover, and it's like, nigga, no, y'all was just doing One to Grow On, nigga. Ain't nobody taking y'all. Like, no, Unleashed, nigga. How you go from Blue Cheese to fucking Unleashed on the cover? But again, I'm just trying to keep feeding my family. I'm trying to keep this record deal, and you know what? Y'all don't want Blue Cheese no more. Y'all don't want One to Grow On no more. You know, so it's kind of like I kind of have to do something that's harder. And like you said, Vague, it's not gonna fit because it's not your personality. Could you imagine Kid and Play trying to come out over a Premiere beat, trying to talk? I love them to death. They're from my city. But the youngsters, they were hip hop chameleons. They basically was like, whatever you want us to be. They came out with something for the youngsters. Hey, we like ABC. This is a little something for the youngsters. Next time I see these motherfuckers, they bald heads and they from Jersey. And it's like Cruz pop. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, and then the next time I see them, now they back to Philly with their dark fades and they shape ups on some hip hop ride type. So again, it's like you're just trying to play to whatever hip hop is becoming at that time, you know? So, but again, like by the time 94, I mean, the Funhouse album by Kid and Play had to be 91, and that was it for them. Kid and Play could not come out with another album after 91. It just wasn't. 91 was the last hurrah, because we named a couple 91 like dance centric songs and videos, and like you said, 92. That was the Chronic, right?
Yep.
Yeah, shit might have changed. So.
Yeah. And again, it just was, easy to your point. Like, when did it? I guess it's hard to be like, I smoke weed and I pack a gun, but I do the hammer dance all day. You know what I mean? It's almost like the two things don't add up. You know what I mean? You can't be a Crip. And here's the crazy part: the Crip dance is part of hip hop, so you can be a Crip and dance. And this make a great point about the differences between the coasts. I think Nick said this to me. Nick was like, Outkast and CeeLo can do different things because they're from Atlanta. Like, New York artists aren't given that freedom to be able to try different things. They have to be New York artists. You have to be from Brooklyn. Being from Brooklyn comes with a certain oomph to it. You know what I mean? It comes with, it's like being from North Philly. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you say you from North. It's like, oh, damn, you from North. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you can be from Brooklyn and be like, yo, come on, man, let's dance. Like, yo, like, nah, it's like there's a certain oomph that comes with that. I don't know why the Crips have the freedom to have a dance. You know what I mean? And that the dance became so popular, everybody wanted to do it to got niggas in trouble. Like, nigga, you ain't no Crip, stop doing our dance. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy about that too, Kill, is right now, I don't know if it's still the thing right now, but one of the dopest street dancers is a cat from Brooklyn, Storyboard P. Dude is ridiculous. He's nasty cat, straight from BK. So I guess, you seeing this evolution, how these things keep, things keep coming back in different ways, man.
But you know what it is too, Av? I feel like dancing has become its own movement, but it's not part of hip hop.
It's not part of hip hop now. No.
It's almost like turntablism. That had to begin its own thing. It was like, okay, hip hop, they don't want us no more. We gonna start our own shit over here.
That's true, and I think I only know these things again because my wife. I know the dance a little bit. Because if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't know nothing about that.
So I think that's what happened. It's kind of like, okay, you kicked us out. Okay, we the orphans. We gonna start our own thing. I mean, Veg, I've said this story a million times. I don't know if I've ever told you. I'm at Strictly Hip Hop. I'm on air. Somebody calls up, asks me about the invisible scratch pickles. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is an invisible scratch pickle? They like, yo, it's these DJs from the West Coast. They crazy. I know you from Philly. You a big DJ boy. I was like, yo, this is how wild I was back in the day. I was like, yo, just here, take down my address. Come through the crib tomorrow and bring some videos or whatever. Niggas knocking at the door. My niggas like, yo, Kill's like 8 white boys outside. Who the fuck? What the fuck is this? And they were some white people. They were some white boys. They came in, and these white dudes schooled me and a whole bunch of niggas to the invisible scratch pickles versus the executioners. And we had no idea that there was this whole turntablism society that was going on that had nothing to do with hip hop. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. That's a great point, that it still exists. It just doesn't exist in hip hop. Because I'm like hip hop to the death. I'm hosting the hip hop show, and I'm like, the invisible scratch pick was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know who you talking about, dog. Like, so, and that just blew my mind that there's a whole nother world. And I think that's the same thing with dancing, that it's kind of just like, but it's not back in hip hop, So Veg, maybe like you said, maybe with this Kendrick video, maybe it'll creep back in. Maybe people will look at what Kendrick did and say, yo, like, okay, it's cool to dance. Because again, I feel like that's all this shit goes back to is like, it was in the Wiz. The color's green. Okay, everybody, like Jay used to do. Yo, I don't wear jerseys no more. We wear button-ups. Oh, we don't wear jerseys no more? Okay, cool. I was at my godson's birthday party, my niggas, true story, came up to me and like kind of gave me a pound and whispered in my ear. I had on a Randall Cunningham throwback. He was like, yo, we don't wear jerseys no more, nigga. You ain't here, Jay? And I'm like, like, then I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want to wear. You know what I mean? But, and I mean, we've seen David Stern, God bless the dead, joke about how Jay-Z killed the whole jersey industry. When he said, don't wear jerseys no more. We wear button-ups. And then the next day, everybody had a button-up and some jeans on. That was the uniform. The uniform became a button-up. And Jay said, I don't get rims on my car no more. Okay, no more rims. Jay said no more rims. The X5 is the baby mama car. Oh, get rid of the X5. We got to get rid of that. We got 4.0, 4.6. Like, people act like they're not influenced by music. They're very influenced by music. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you say dance again, niggas will be dancing in the next video. When you said don't dance, all we do is lean back. Niggas, what Jay say? We don't drink Ace of Spades, so they ask me what we drinking. And I'm sure these are true stories. I'm sure these are true stories of niggas like, yo, Jay, what we drinking now, man? We don't do Ace no more. You said that shit was whack. What we drink now? So people are always looking for what's the next thing. And when you tell us what the next thing is, I mean, yo, jersey sales plummeted. Mitchell and Ness went from the #1 spot. There was a time when every rapper was coming through Philly to go to Mitchell and Ness to get that 4 extra large throwback jersey. That was it. My man, me and Ev's man, Zay, is like the general manager for Mitchell and Ness. You go on his IG page, everybody, he got pictures with everybody because everybody came through. Then Jay said, no more jerseys, and jerseys disappeared. Like literally overnight because Jay said it.
Yep. I think that's so crazy because like I ain't like there's things you see in videos you're like that's kind of ill. You might copy that or whatever, but I remember that like the only time I paid attention to it is if a rapper experienced some racial stuff with like a liquor company and they say, yo, we don't drink that no more. I'm with that, but soon as Jay-Z said I made the Yankee hat more famous than the no, you didn't, nigga. We was been wearing Yankee hats. Like I'm a big fan, so of course I've had one. But in NY, he was literally just taking what was already happening. And even some people outside of that, maybe Yankee fans or whatever, but it was like all of a sudden, oh, that's why everybody wears Yankee hats. And I'm like, what? From where? That's like Beanie Siegel saying, yeah, I put the Philly hat on and all of Philly followed me. Like, no, nigga, we been wearing this shit. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So, but the nigga said, all this fucking, what is it? $5 in fucking lunch or whatever that bullshit is. Like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, I would love for dancing to come back because I mean, at the end of the day, this was a fun show. I kept smiling every time somebody would name a song. It would bring back memories. Easy doing the dances. It's like, yo, this is how we correlate the music. Like the dance is just as important as the bars. You know what I mean? And I would love for that to come back. Do I think it will? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know who has the power anymore. I don't know who the Wiz is. I think at this point, Jay, I don't know if anybody's even gonna listen to a word Jay says like that. Like, don't do this and do that. If people follow it, damn sure ain't Drake. I don't know who's following. So I don't even know who's the voice anymore. It's kind of like the problem I come up with in the hoods when I'm trying to squash beefs between two different neighborhoods. There's no leader anymore. You know what I mean? It's like when you're watching The Wire, if I can get Avon and Marlo to say squash the beef is squashed. But if there is no Avon and there is no Marlo, it's just the East Side versus the West Side, it's hard for me to stop that beef because I can get 5 niggas to stop the beef, but then that 6th nigga who does something just makes everything worse. You know what I mean? So I think that's the problem. Even right now, I don't know if we have a voice in hip hop who can say, okay, y'all, come on, man, let's get back to having some fun. You know what I mean? Like, let's cut this shit out and get back to, what the culture was about. You know
what I find interesting though, and this doesn't really have anything to do with dancing, but it kind of like supports the fun part. Look at all these dudes that are doing podcasts, right? Like upholding a gangster image has got to be exhausting. Has to be exhausting, bro. Look at Nori. He's having the time of his life and he's winning. Look at Cam, having the time of his life and he's winning. Joe Budden, their true personalities are on display and they're winning like that. So there's proof you don't gotta be I shoot your face all day.
Right.
So there's just, I guess these dudes are just finding their own way. Cause bro, like you pushing 50, you can't maintain that long. Like that image, that shit gotta be tiring, bro. Right. So it's interesting to see that these dudes, like, look at Nori, he's winning. Time of his life. Every time I watch Cam show, he's belly laughing the whole fucking show. It ain't this gangster shit that he was doing on diplomatic community, and they're winning. Yeah. So it's certainly possible, but like you said, who's gonna lead the way, or who not necessarily even lead the way, but I guess set the trend is leading the way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the crazy things is that, and again, this is right up there with Candyman. Bambaataa, the Zulu Nation's banner was peace, love, unity, and having fun. Yeah. That's really what the whole Zulu Nation's motto was. It ends with having fun. You know what I mean? And I think that's the part that's missing. I don't know if anybody is trying to go into the studio to have fun. You know what I mean? I don't know if people still find it fun. I still find it fun to make music. You know what I mean? I still find it fun. They just send me a new song today. I love that. Like, I love an MC sending me a song like, yo, I just recorded this. Let me know what you think. I still find fun in that. You know what I mean? And it's not saying that the music has to be corny or anything like that, but just have fun with it. And I think that may be what's missing because, again, that's just not the goal. And I go back to what I say about the gang treaty of you have all these gangsters who were, you know, killing each other, but maybe they didn't really want to. You know what I mean? Maybe they wanted to do other things, and that's where hip hop came from. That's how we got other things, because these dudes was like, yo, I used to doodle in art class. I always wanted to be an artist, but I got caught up in this gang life. You know what I mean? So, you know, I love what Easy said about these MCs doing podcasts and finding other things. And so I love the fact that Cam's podcast is about sports. It has nothing to do with hip hop. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes just had on Chris Mullen the other day. Like, this ain't got shit to do with hip hop. Like, it's just like I'm having fun doing something else, and you know, prayerfully more people will do it. I want to give a shout out right now to my man Easy. Bless me. We got to look at these dope tees that I got in the mail. You got the Easy money right there. That's crazy. We got this one right here, the God First joint, which is bananas. I had the Easy Magic joint on yesterday. Not to mention, you got the incredible discography. This one right here is a banger. This is my man on his R&B singing shit right here, which is dope. You got these joints. Just, I mean, again, the discography is incredible. You know, again, I always tell
all that. Everything, all the albums, you can stream them as well.
All these joints. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, one of the very few people who can rap very well and sing very well at the same token. Easy. Where can they cop all this dope merch at?
You can hit me I'm at Easy Money ST everywhere, man. You know, hit me on Twitter, Instagram, you know, and then like the music, the whole catalog is, you can stream it everywhere.
All right, no doubt. Vague, Bed-Stuy Vintage, love it. Getting good feedback. I love the feedback. I love people enjoying it. I think that's the other fun of me with just having music. I just love. I don't need 100 people. If 100 people say, I just love when people say, "Yo, man, I fuck with that shit." That's it for me right there, man. You know what I mean? It's just that's sometimes that's the fun that just keeps me going. Like, I'm just glad that people are enjoying the music. But talk a little bit about Bed-Stuy Vintage, bro.
All right, Bed-Stuy Vintage. The album is out now at vegasworldinc.bandcamp.com. Also available on all streaming platforms from Apple Music to Spotify, Tidal, YouTube Music, so on and so forth. It's me and Kill Six project. It was a project where I kind of wanted to just take it back to the bars. I've always tried to have one or two songs where I just could spit, but I'm more of a concept kind of guy. I like the creativity. You know, I like to do creative things and not try to do the same thing all the time. But it's been a minute since I just focused on bars. And even though there's songs like Tell Me Another One that are like on some creative shit and humorous, talking about social media, Twitter in particular, there's a lot of boom bap, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. And on the low, you know, I actually have 5 more songs to add to the project that I didn't get to add because, you know, my mother passed and I had to plan a service, and that really kind of put a stop to like my creative thinking because I was so focused on getting that right and sending her home right. But then, you know, it was always in the back of my mind, like, damn, I had those beats just sitting in there and I had a couple of rhymes to the side. So I decided to, like, hey, why not just do Bed-Stuy Vintage, the mixtape? So coming soon, another 5 joints, but definitely check out what we've done so far. I think you'll like it, and go back and listen to some of our older music, which will be coming to streaming services this year. So,
no doubt. We got the joint right here, Prophet, Order of the Lyricist, my man Ev's album right there. Ev, talk about this joint, good brother.
Prophet is a theater work. I say that lightly. It's a lot of performance work where you know on stage. It's basically the story of MCs. It's the story of an MC. And it talks about some of the obstacles, what it means to be a musician in that, what it means to be an artist in that form, in that light, and what that looks like when you're building your craft, when you're honing your craft, when you're sharpening your sword, stuff like that. So the theater piece talks all about that. With that, I wanted to do an EP project that kind of expressed that in a different form. Like, I wanted to put out some music that was relevant for me today, not like me 20 years ago. And if it's relevant for me, maybe it'll be relevant for some other cats out there. Who knows? But it's just, you just want to do them things where, I want to, at the end of the day, I want to walk away feeling good about it and give it to the world. And if it resonates or if it aligns with somebody, then that's peace too. So that's what, the record album itself is out. The digital package comes out next week. Finishing up the mixing and the mastering this week. So it should be out sometime next week. I think the temperature is right for it. I was going to do it in the summertime, but it felt more like fall music. So that's what's happening with Prophet. And you can find it probably at Ev Assis on Instagram or 7NMS on Instagram as well.
And what's the website where they can cop the album if they want the physical? You
can cop the album at 7nms.com. No, is that true? No, yeah, 7nms.com. You can cop the album, or no, that's the one. 7nms.com is where you can cop the album, where you can actually get some information on the actual theater work. And soon, probably by the end of this year, hopefully there'll be a book to kind of finish that whole project.
All right, no doubt. You already know this is me. Kill889 Twitter, IG. Shout out to Rel. His album It Ain't You is me, produced by yours truly, is out right now. If you've ever been in any type of relationship, this album will definitely resonate with you. And we're finishing up back with Sweetie's album right now. The video for our first single with Tajay from Souls of Mischief should be up by next week. So definitely look out for that. But I will check y'all next week, good brothers.